they like everybody against them so they can fight the world. But it will be a very tight game, two contrasting styles. You've got Arsenal play a more direct game. Zaragoza play very sharp, quick, good footballing skills, and I think it's going to be a cracker.
At the best, Zaragoza are a good side, aren't they?
I think they're an outstanding team when they're on their game, but they can't close the shop like Arsenal can. If Arsenal can get in front, they'll make it very difficult for them.
Okay, well as the prospect of Arsenal becoming the first club to retain the trophy, another record could be set tonight by Ian Wright. Ian has, of course, scored in every game up to the final here in Paris, and if he does it again tonight, well, it'll be the first time anybody has achieved that in the history of European club football.
What a super header by Ian Wright.
I'm confident of scoring in every game of playing. It just depends on how I feel and how I'm going to take the chance. But I'm always confident of scoring in a goal because I try to hit the target all the time. And if I can do that, if I can get one chance, if I can get three, all the better. But, you know, the main thing is trying to hit the target with my chance, and I think I'll have a good chance just like anybody else. If you're talking about the best, then you'd say Auxerre would have been the best goal.
And his shot is a goal! It's Ian Wright! It's a wonderful goal for Arsenal!
I think the most important would have to be the one against Sampdoria.
It's Ian Wright!
It's the Winners' Cup final. It's an opportunity for Arsenal to get back into Europe. It's an opportunity for us to prove to people how in adversity we can come out like shining knights, hopefully. But most of all for the fans and the club, you know, I think they deserve it.
Terry, you just can't ignore his achievements, can you?
He's been outstanding for so many seasons, and again in all competitions he's got 30 goals. He's quick, he's fast onto things, and his goal from the flick-on corner was absolutely outstanding against Sampdoria.
Still a little chance for your England squad, do you think?
Oh, they've all got chances. As we've said so often, the competition of front players is really hot.
Arsenal's other hero, of course, en route to Paris has been David Seaman, the goalkeeper.
Well, David Seaman, he has been absolutely outstanding. Here we see his left-handed save, which is quite a miraculous save. It looked a goal all the way. And the next effort is even better because he's close in, same side. He's had to have a strong hand to make sure that it doesn't go over the line. And of course, the most dramatic part of the last semi-final was his save here to his left-hand side, and even better for his trailing hand from Lombardo, which was just sensational. And I speak about him, but of course you know more about him than I do.
Well, I just think he's got great presence, Pat Jennings-type presence. I find him a wonderful student of the goalkeeping art. He's always questioning goalkeeping problems. He came to win things, and you know, if he's a winner tonight, it'll be his 5th major medal in 5 years at Arsenal. He looks a damn sight fitter than his coach.
I couldn't tell who was the fittest there.
We talked to David Seaman, we talked about Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Now the other man is the captain, Tony Adams. So often, of course, Arsenal's inspiration.
It's going to be very difficult, hopefully, because we're going to be the better side on the night. It's going to be very humid. There's a magnificent atmosphere out there. Hopefully we can have the rub of the green, and that'll be good enough for us.
And make history.
That'd be nice.
The great flavor of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum lasts a long, long time. The refreshing minty taste just goes on and on and on and on. Enjoy enjoy the cool, refreshing taste of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. The flavor lasts a long, long time.
I'll come back, Natalie.
And?
I won't forget. I'll get you some. I promise.
Hi. Everything okay?
Dad?
Here, try this. Roaring 40s.
Hello. I wonder if you can help me.
Certainly. How many?
Albert?
Natalie.
Well, I did promise.
Next. Have a seat. Just talk and you can go. A few words and the others can go too. Just tell me your name. If you don't, we'll have to fill you in. For the last time, what's your name?
Keith!
Polo strong. We like them strong and silent.
This is all completely new. That's where we used to go fishing. Jones' Sweet Shop. I wonder if that's still there. Well, they look a lot more fun. Never seen these before. Oh, this is familiar. A friend of mine used to live down here. His dad had a lovely Mercedes.
Why a pair of 3D glasses? That's to get a better view of Colgate's first three-dimensional toothbrush. You see, your teeth aren't flat. They're three-dimensional. That's why the unique Colgate Total was created. The first layer of bristles are shorter to clean the surface of the teeth. Colgate Total also has a second layer of bristles. These are a little longer to clean right in between your teeth. Why am I standing at this angle? Well, that's the third dimension. Angled bristles to gently clean plaque away from the gum line. Try Colgate Total for a three-dimensional clean.
Well, if proof be needed that we are here in Paris, here it is, the great landmark of the Eiffel Tower. Arsenal of England against Real Zaragoza of Spain. It's a very pleasant evening here in the Parc des Princes. It's beginning to feel a little cooler, but as in Copenhagen last season, when Arsenal won the Cup Winners' Cup against then-holders Parma, the fans have done them proud. Some 17,000 Arsenal fans have made the journey by air, sea, and of course now, the new Channel Tunnel. It would have been, in fact, more fans if UEFA had provided more tickets. There are about 14,000 Real Zaragoza supporters here as well. And I think the Gladiators are about to make their entrance. That's possibly the right way to describe it tonight, because UEFA tonight have decided to bring in an American-style introduction. I wonder what you might think of it all at home. The players are going to be coming out two at a time, one Arsenal player, we believe, alongside one Zaragoza opponent. Now, Terry, this idea that UEFA have come up with tonight, what do you think of it?
Well, it's different. I think they're just trying to make sure that the friendly impact is going to hit the stadium. But really, I wouldn't think the Brazilians would be able to do that. They won't let each other's hands go, would they?
Of course, in the World Cup in America, we saw them, didn't we, coming out like that. Now here they are, and the referee there is Piero Ceccarini of Italy, and the Arsenal players seem need to know that he does speak very good English, but this could be a sign of things to come. I'm not sure if... I believe football is a team game, one for one and one for all, and I think the Arsenal team and most of us would prefer togetherness rather than this coming out 2 by 2.
Well, it's an American idea, isn't it? It comes from the American football. They do it a lot out there, Bob, don't they?
We'll just take in the atmosphere here a moment. Tony Adams looking very relaxed, and the atmosphere building, of course. I wonder if it'll take about 5 minutes this or 2 minutes, Terry.
Perhaps the game will start and there'll still be 4 left in the dressing room.
There are the Zaragoza fans, and they are giving wonderful support. It really is, between the two sets of supporters, a great atmosphere.
It's sensational. I mean, the way they're draping there, I noticed they're draping the flags above the Zaragoza, the blue and white flags. It looks really good, that end. Whereas the Arsenal, I think, well, there's so many at that end, they've took them up because I don't think they can see the game properly.
Lee Dixon coming out there with that short haircut of his, which I'm sure Brian Moore will describe for you a little later. The reasons for Lee Dixon, that is, and for that haircut. Now then, Andy Linnigan is going to be the next one out here, Terry. He's taking the place of Steve Bold.
Yeah, well, Steve Bold, I thought, has had a wonderful cup run, and it's a big job for him tonight, coming into the team. A lot will be expected of him, but he's done so well coming in for Arsenal in the past. You know, I don't see why he shouldn't have a good game.
There's Martin Keown, also very important in recent games in midfield for Arsenal. Ian Wright, of course. And I think, Terry, the other man that I think we should single out for Arsenal is perhaps Paul Merson.
Well, Paul Merson, I think, has had such a traumatic season, perhaps more so than any other player that I've experienced, and he's come back in such a great fashion. I think he's got to be very pleased with himself, and Arsenal must be too.
I know that Paul is so determined to make up for really all the indiscretions, but here we go then. We're all set for the 1995 Cup Winners' Cup final between Arsenal and Real Zaragoza. Let's join our commentary team. We're actually only a matter of inches away here from them. I can almost dive at the feet of Kevin Keegan, but I did in the old days. But alongside Kevin here, our commentator, Brian Moore.
Thanks a lot, Bob. Yes, it's a terrific night here with a great atmosphere. The nerves, like you at home, I would have thought, very much on edge. Arsenal have ground out so many fantastic results on nights like this, it seems, over the last year or two in particular. And as Bob was saying, they probably start here as favourites. Italian referee and his linesman there. 45,000 here in the Parc des Princes, on the outskirts of Paris. Home of French rugby, home of Paris Saint-Germain. Here's the Arsenal lineup then, confirming that the Arsenal defence is without Steve Bold, suspended, and that Andy Linnigan takes his place alongside Tony Adams. There was debate as to who Stuart Houston would give the final midfield place to, and it's Ray Parlour. Martin Keown will again have an important marking job to do. Ian Wright needing a goal to achieve a score in every round. Thus far, 9 European goals for him in 8 games this season. Well, it's a match that will also help to underline the future of Stuart Houston, still merely the caretaker manager.
Well, I've settled into the job at the moment in time. I would like the job. You know, I've got to be positive about the whole thing. It's been a learning process for me, but if we win this trophy tonight, this will be the best night of my life.
Ian Wright, of course, missed last year's final through suspension. This he considers just about the greatest footballing night of his life.
Until I actually walk out there and get ready, we're going to blow the whistle and we're going to play. I won't realise how fulfilled I am until I actually go out there. It's something that myself and my family have looked forward to since obviously I missed out on the final last year.
Let's have a look at the side that Arsenal are facing tonight. Real Zaragoza, third in the Spanish league. Victors over Chelsea in the semi-finals. A change of goalkeeper and injury allows the experienced Andoni Cedron to come in. Naim, we know, of course, after his 5 seasons at Tottenham, he's on the left of midfield. Their outstanding striker is Juan Isnaida, a 22-year-old Argentine who, like Ian Wright, incidentally, has scored in every round. Let's just have a quick word with that former Tottenham man, Naim.
Well, my team is looking forward for the game, and we're going to go enjoy the night. I mean, we're going to enjoy the game and see what's going to happen.
What sort of game do you think it will be, and where will the key areas in this game be?
I mean, the key is easy. Just put the ball down and play football. That's the only way we can we see the football. I mean, we're going to go there and try to play around the pitch and enjoy ourselves.
I can tell you there's a real tingle about tonight. The referee...
Enjoy the game and good luck.
Financial consultant Piero Ceccarino. Real Zaragoza then the side in the white shirts, blue shorts. Arsenal in that traditional red and white shirts. And we're just waiting for the final nod. Quite excited about this, Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, it's set up for a great game. What a super stadium. One of the few stadiums we could come to now and think compares favourably with ones back home. A team in Zaragoza who have no fear. I think Naim summed it up there. They'll just come and take them on. And Arsenal, we know all about. They've got resilience. It'll be a great game, I think.
Well, Schwartz getting the ball wide to Nigel Winterburn. Merson away on the far side. They're quickly hitting it up towards Ian Wright, but Wright beaten in the air by Cáceres. Belsway. Side, as I say, Zaragoza now third in the Spanish league. They're in dangerous form at the moment. Just behind Real Madrid and Deportivo Coruña, ahead of Barcelona, let it be said. But they will have great respect for Arsenal. The victories that they had against Auxerre and particularly against Sampdoria in the semi-final. Here's Andy Linnigan. First touch for him, and he's hit it long towards Hartson. Belsway on the far side, a tough little fullback there who loves to get forward. Higuera losing it to Parler. Parler again, the simple ball. The pitch looks in terrific condition, but talking to Lee Dixon about it last night, he was saying that in fact there's a nasty bobble about it. He said it may look okay from where you're sitting, but where we're working, it's not all that great. Well, here's a break. Higuera stopped beautifully there by Schwartz. That was a good bit of defending there by Schwartz. And Merson taking it over fairly quickly. But a poor final ball straight through to Andoni Cedron. And I say he's a reserve goalkeeper who's come in. That's a great piece of work there by Schwartz. But the keeper, in fact, was a regular in the Zaragoza side until he lost his place in January. So there's no lack of experience here. Dixon playing it down the line towards Hartson. Firm challenge there by Saldana. Ooh, Naim thundered from behind there. That's a yellow card straight away for Hartson, and he can't really complain about that. That was a crude challenge.
That's the sort of thing that drives you balmy as a manager. Here we are, what, 2 minutes into the game and you've got a booking.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's not even in what we call an important area. If that was on the edge of the box and he's trying to defend, you know, or break up a chance, you'd say, well, okay, in some ways you could sort of make an excuse. But that was a bad tackle. I hope it doesn't set the standard for the rest of the game, because...
But Naim, well, the referee is insisting that Naim, he wanted call for the stretcher. Remembering back to the World Cup finals, once you call for a stretcher, you've got to go on it and go off. And if you don't, you get a yellow card. So Naim at the moment is off. Zaragoza for the moment are down to 10. Hartson is booked. And in a moment, you can be sure Naim will be back on the field. Hit long there. Up goes Adams. Didn't really get hold of that one. Higuera on the far side. No problems there for Arsenal. 5 substitutes, of course. Morrow, Hillier, McGoldrick, Kiwanya, and the reserve goalkeeper Bartram are the Arsenal 5. So the hero of Auxerre Certainly the hero in Genoa against Sampdoria. Here he is, David Seaman with a long kick again towards Hartson. Dixon came off Naim. Arsenal's throw. Dixon, as we know, has got a good long throw in his locker. Parler up there. Dixon couldn't keep it in play. Well, that's a striking haircut. In fact, he had it cut for a charity, and a worthwhile charity that's some children at Great Ormond Street. And he was telling me last night that the checks are still rolling in for it. And that charity haircut so far has raised over £6,000. That's the other side of football, ladies and gentlemen.
Just about enough money to take some out and buy a wig for himself. It's really short, Brian, isn't it?
It is. And then Paul Merson, I think, went on the same tack. Apparently, well, you can see him on the far side of the field. They're picking up in a moment. Paul has got an identical haircut, which I'm told he had cut in the hotel yesterday. There he is. Good job there by Naim. And this is little Padeza. Now, he is a dangerous character. He's all over the place, and he scores his quota of goals as well for Zaragoza. He's their skipper. Solana now to Naim. Higuera caught on his heels. Dixon's at him. Higuera still played well here. Good play here, and it's still not away. It comes to Naim. And some good defending there by Adams, and some pretty desperate defending there by Arsenal, but they're bringing it away. And on this right-hand side, of all people, it's Nigel Winterburn steaming forward. Dixon. To Hartson. Wright. They're worried about Wright. And now Merson. Can he get a shot in? No, there were three crowding him out. It's Aragon, the little playmaker, getting it forward. And, well, Snyder clearly upset at something that Schwartz had done. A little bit of retaliation there, and a free kick for the foul on Parler. It's with Dixon. Foul on Dixon now. Well, and a yellow card for Higuera.
Well, early tension, Brian, but two or three really poor tackles going in from both sides. And
I mean, some grotesque tackles, Kevin, and really, to a certain extent, you have to say the mood was set by Hartson's challenge on Naim after 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a sad thing, because probably with Hartson, I mean, he is a young boy still. He should have sent us a telegram when he got his move to Arsenal, because I think the cup goal he scored against us was, you know, that's the first time he really came to notice at Luton. But you can sort of understand it with a young lad, but I hope he doesn't set the standard for the night, because these are two, they're a footballing side, and so are Arsenal, really. I mean, they'll compete, but they want to play football too.
Schwartz with a free kick, curling in there, going a long way in there. And in the end, it's Naim here who can pull it away. Up to Snyder. Higuera's away on the left-hand side. Snyder held up again by the challenge, I think, of Lee Dixon then. Here's Paul Merson. Again, the ball hit long. Right up there, charging. And Cáceres.
So good to see Ian Wright in this final. It must have been heartbreaking for him last year. You know, because he is so important to Arsenal, Brian. I mean, I talked to one of their supporters today and he said, you know, they think they might be better without him. And I thought that was a view that cannot be shared by any other Arsenal fan. I mean, I think he's so important to them. And you wonder what sort of side they would be without him, because he gets so many good goals from him and he works so hard.
A few teams in Europe that he's caused a bit of bother to wouldn't agree with that, would they, this season?
Well, his goal record speaks for itself, you know, and he doesn't just get great goals, he gets tap-ins as well, and that's the sign of a great striker.
30 this season for Ian. And there's Snyder tackling there with Dixon. Here's Winterburn, that's a good run. And it's Ray Parler taking it up. Winterburn again. playing it in for Merson, playing it around with confidence, playing the simple passes, but playing them well. Dixon knocking it in, Merson with a touch, and a savage challenge again on Merson that time. It's Aragon who's made that challenge. It's a free kick for Arsenal at any rate, and it'll be Merson and Schwartz behind it. Schwartz, of course, who hit a terrific free kick against Sampdoria. That was the one that pulled Arsenal round, but it's a little further out this time, and it'll be Paul Merson who attacks this one. Linnigan's up on the far side. Adams has come there. Linnigan's made a little running towards it as well, leaving Adams back there and flicked away, but the referee's whistle had gone. The reason being, Kevin?
Well, he's got to take it again. I think he never blew his whistle, and that's simple as that. It's a good chance, really, for Arsenal to test them in the air, because if you ever think the one major plus point with Arsenal, apart from the resilience, they are very, very good from set pieces, and they have got plenty of height in there, with Hartson as well as Adams, obviously, and Linnigan. And they must test them. I think it's just too far out to have a shot.
Here we go again, though. Slightly different one this time. Adams couldn't get on the end of that. It was aimed towards him. Linnigan had gone out a little deeper and a little wider. Goal kick then to Zaragoza. In a way, they are, as I say, in dangerous form. Third in the Spanish league, and they are a side that are noted for their flowing skills, their adventurous play. Although they have a terrific record at home, their record away from home, I think they've lost 9 games away from home. It's amazing when you think that they are third in the Spanish league. They don't travel all that well. Certainly talking to one or two of the Chelsea players, Gavin Peacock, their captain, for example, at the weekend, was saying that having played Zaragoza in the semi-final, he felt that Arsenal would start favourites, that Arsenal could win this game.
He was probably judging that, though, on the game at Stamford Bridge, because they were superb in the game over in Spain, and this is on neutral ground. I think that this will be a real tough game for Arsenal. There'll be no quarter given or asked, but they certainly knock it around well, Brian, don't they?
They do. Keown with a good header there. The touch up to Ian Wright. The back heel by him to Paul Merson. Knocked on again now. Parler's made a break forward, but it's gone a little too wide for him. Throw it into Zaragoza.
I wonder if Ray Parler thought about having his hair cut for charity, Brian. I suppose that would have shocked everybody if he cut those locks off.
Adams underneath this one. Parler in again. Winterburn had to readjust. Couldn't quite get the length on it he wanted. Days are beaten again by the skill of Lee Dixon, and Dixon surging forward once more, right with a little touch, and it almost came through to Hartson. It's Stefan Schwartz, knocked forward by Martin Keown, but straight to Solana, and now Naim. Naim lost his way for a little bit. He was caught by Dixon there, but my feeling was that it was an accident on Dixon's part. The referee obviously felt the same. Parler challenging in there, won the ball well. Naim. Cáceres. Cáceres is another Argentinian. That's a ball by Naim, straight through to David Seaman. Still wearing that shield around his cracked rib is Seaman.
Well, the way he's been playing, he wants to keep that there, Brian, for all next season. I mean, he can't play any better if he's 110% fit. He's had a superb end to the season.
Parler, a nice little touch. Parler's getting some good little touches in early on here. Schwartz now to Dixon. Down the line again for Ray Parler. Driving that one in. Away that time by Aguado. Winterburn. Figuera. who's right across that front line, playing it wide here, but it won't come through to Pardeza. And away goes Lee Dixon again. They can't hold him this time. Merson's on one side, and Merson just caught offside as the Spanish back four came forward with great discipline.
He started the game off brilliantly. That haircut's added another 5 yards of pace to him. He's unlucky here because Merson does try and pull out, but it really was the wrong ball in the end, and there's two over the far side who maybe it would have been more advantageous knock it long, I think. But he's gone supersonic with that haircut. Started off very brightly, hasn't he?
There's an Arsenal player down on the far side.
I think it's Winterburn.
It's Winterburn.
Just before in the game, Brian, when Winterburn ended up over this side, I think that'll happen quite a lot tonight because the way Zaragoza play, they've no set formation, you know, the players move around. And I think in that case he found himself picking a man up and suddenly playing right back. And I think that is the secret to Zaragoza. I think it'll be interesting for Terry because they play the Christmas tree type formation that we talk so much about in England, with Sneijder really the one that I think on their side is got to be watched every second of the 90 minutes.
Stuart Houston and Pat Rice there. And I think it doesn't look too good for Winterburn, actually. The doctor's up there with him. And my feeling is that Winterburn might well, he's obviously going to be off the field. That's what the stretch is there for. And you wonder quite what Arsenal will do. Will they'll slip Eddie McGoldrick in at left back? Possibly Steve Morrow.
It always makes it look worse with the stretcher, doesn't it? Because we're used to seeing a stretcher being used when someone's really hurt. And of course, as we saw with Naim early on, he didn't even want to get on the stretcher. So it may not be as bad as we think. Let's hope not.
Dixon, Arsenal then down to 10 at the moment. Hartson. Poyet. Belsway, stopped by Wright. Just knocks the ball wide again there. Little Pardeza. Watch out for him. There's a little touch for Poyet again. He tried to play it in. Well stopped by Schwartz again. And Winterburn is back on. Our worst fears were not realised, but here's Pardeza. Need to watch him. But not with shooting like that. Pick then for Arsenal. Remember, no side has ever successfully defended the European Cup Winners' Cup. Arsenal won it on that glorious night. George Graham's side back in Copenhagen last year against Parma. George, I'm sure, is watching this on television. It's his side, his foundations, carried on now by Stuart Houston in brilliant form. Certainly so far as their European exploits are concerned. Again, Hartson launching himself in that one. Hartson launching himself. Keown chasing. I don't see people there. 16 minutes or so gone. It's not really a chance has been created yet.
No, they're just feeling each other out a little bit, sounding each other out, which is a better word. And I'm sure it'll liven up because the way the Spaniards play, they've got to come at Arsenal, and in many ways that's what Arsenal wants. So once that happens, we'll see in a really open. Anyways, that's what Arsenal.
Gibson with a long throw again. Gibson with a long throw again. Cáceres getting it clear. Schwartz knocking it for Winterburn, laying it back in again. Parla knocking it for Winterburn, laying it back in again. Here again for Arsenal. Parla seems to have been given a very free role tonight, Kevin. Let's have a look at Schwartz first. A very free left foot on him. Let's have a look at Schwartz. Also got a good left foot. He plays it short for right on the far side. Also got a break could be on for Zaragoza. Break could be on for Zaragoza. Break could be on for Zaragoza. Poyet.
Yeah, I think the position that Parla's taking up, it can happen early in a game sometimes. Everywhere he seems to go, the ball seems to find him. But the one thing that he has got more than anything of quality is his engine. I mean, he can run forever. And he may amazes me sometimes the amount of work he does, which goes unseen. Well, tonight we're seeing it all the time.
It was a nice touch by Hartson there, and a nice, very nearly an excellent touch by Wright, bringing Merson in. Poyet, Snyder. It's Zaragoza ball. Elsewhere, they pull back with it. Higuera. And he goes for the goal kick. You're pointing something to me.
Yeah, just looking at Nigel Winterburn, he's not 100% happy. Went off picture there while the game was going on. When he was off the stretcher, they were sort of pushing him like something had come out of place, you know. And he snapped back in. I just wonder if, you know, we're not going to see him suffer as the game goes on. I hope not, because I think he's very important to Arsenal.
Keown challenging there with Poyet. It's a throw for Dixon. Once again, the ball finds Ray Parlour. It's another Arsenal throw. Sounding each other out at the moment, Terry Venables.
That's right. I think it started off with Parlour on the right-hand side, as we said he would, and then he's gone into play behind the front two, and we've seen Keown's going to play on the right, and he's marking Naim. So that's just happened in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, here is Parlour again. Room to get it back to Dixon. Onto the left foot this time, getting it long to Linigan, who's gone on the far side. Here's Keown again. That's a nice ball played by Merson. It's opened it out again a little bit. Parlour, now he's hitting it back in again. Hartson trying to get something out of it. Keown was diving in feet first, and his feet were too high. It's a free kick. Minutes gone.
Just can't get turned here, Brian, can he? And in the end, it's a block on him.
He turns well as well, Hartson, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what he's looking to do, but the ball just wouldn't sit down for him. And maybe that is the pitch a little bit. Maybe it is a little livelier than it looks. That is the pitch. Maybe it is a little livelier than it looks.
Parlour.
He's involved in everything, Parlour, isn't he? I mean, it's lovely. I know when I used to play, the ball keeps coming to you, it really sets you off, and suddenly after about 70 minutes you start not wanting to come in here because you've got nothing left in the tank.
Hartson up again. Aragon gets it clear. Aragon really is the number 8, is the real playmaker in this Zaragoza side. Well, that'll ricochet nicely to Ray Parlour. Cáceres, the Argentines in the Zaragoza side. Adams, who's thought about getting it back, not much room to spare, but Seaman bangs it clear again, up towards Ian Wright. Wright beaten in the air again by Cáceres. Dixon. Cáceres playing it wide now for Naim. Snyder. Free kick this time to Real Zaragoza.
He's very fortunate there, Brian, but he's not really got blessed with an awful lot of pace as Naim, but he likes to turn people, get them close, and I think he's a little bit lucky to get a free kick there, but nevertheless that's the way the referee saw it.
5 goals in European competition for Snyder. That's a foul by Andy Linigan. Getting a very stern warning there from the Italian referee. Our days of the injured party. There's the manager or the coach, Victor Fernandez. He's only 34, actually, the Zaragoza coach. The goalkeeper tonight is a little older than he is.
I'm glad I haven't got a goalkeeper older than me in my team. Although John Burridge, if he'd have got on, would have been.
Adams there with the trusty left boot. Not quite as trusty as usual because it sliced it into touch, but relieved the tension a little bit there for a moment in the Arsenal defence. Badeza again. Aragon challenged by Parlour, won by him, sets right on his way, but he's alone up there, and in the end well, he wasn't fouled.
I thought it was a very, very good tackle, that, Brian. You know, it wasn't really from behind. He got the ball cleanly, and I think that's what Ian Wright's sort of saying, hey, it's from behind, but I think they'll allow that if you get the ball as cleanly as the defender did. There you go, look.
Yeah. He's quick, though, Cáceres. He's got 13 caps for Argentina. He played in the 1994 World Cup side in America. Poyet eventually getting the ball out here to Solana. Played in again. Strong challenge there by Adams. But they are very quick to go down poleaxed, aren't they? Well, Parlour did it there. Naim was the guilty man. And Arsenal get a free kick.
I mean, if the rules, the new rules as they are, have been adhered to correctly by the referee, 100%, like some referees do in our country. There's been about 8 yellow cards already. There's been some terrible tackles out there.
Dixon. Schwartz. He's shaken off that challenge by Naim. Finds Merson. Looks for Parlour again. Once again, Parlour's found the ball. He's cross-cut it towards Ian Wright. A header on target. But Sedrum is no problem at all for him. Tremendous. Like the goalkeeper, 6'6", he's picked it out of the air.
The problem with this is there's no pace on the ball for Ian Wright, so he's got to put it all on himself. And I think that's the first attempt on goal that we've had. But you'd be disappointed if that beat your keeper, even if he is 35.
Again and again, White chasing. This time it was Aguado got it clear. Aguado, who missed the second leg against Chelsea in the semi-final, he was suspended. Again, some work by Hartson, sending Merson away on the left flank. Stopped by Belsway. Arsenal's throw.
Very, very good referee in there, because he was going to blow for free kick, and then he saw that Arsenal got an advantage. And I'd love to see that, because that's the way that situation should have been refereed.
Hartson. Adams there, quick to show. Dixon just got there first. Winterburn. Merson. And the flag is up. Couldn't have been much in it. It was a super run by Winterburn too. And a great ball played to him by Paul Merson.
Yeah, it's unusual, Brian, because the one thing you don't expect to get caught offside too much against sides that play deep and usually with a sweeper. You know, always one dropping off. But he's been a bit unlucky there. There's not a lot in it, but as you see, he is a yard off. It's the right decision.
Up goes Adams again. Belsway running straight into Schwartz. Poyet didn't come back to him though from Esnaida. Hartson doing well to hold off the defender there. Parlour again, and away go Arsenal again. It's Merson down the left flank. Hartson's waiting in the middle there. Merson going too far, in fact, in the end.
Good strong run this from Merson, but he just runs out of time, and very good tackle in the end.
Guerra and Arsenal again. Hartson. Right, Hartson brought down, no foul. Solana. Naim. Belsway. Chase is on now. Guerra's made a good run. Esnaida's waiting in the middle for him. Cardeza's coming up fast. It's a corner. Which Guerra will take. A long one there, knocked by Cáceres. And it's gone for the goal kick.
I think certainly one of the problems why the game hasn't really caught fire is that I think Zaragoza are really giving Arsenal an awful lot of respect, Brian. They're only really playing with one up. and they're hoping to pass it through them, but of course they're being forced by the work rate of the midfield to hit a lot of long balls, and there's Sneijder on his own, just can't cope with Adams and Linnigan, and that's something they're going to have to look at if they want to really come out and win this game.
Back to the goalkeeper, Wright trying to put pressure on him. Schwartz. Linnigan. I thought that was a dangerous ball for a moment. Thought Higuera might snap onto that one, but it reached Winterburn. Adams. Arsenal fans, I would think, rejoicing that Tony Adams has pledged his future with Arsenal. So much transfer speculation. In the last season or two, Arsenal just haven't been Arsenal without him. Hartson doing his best on the far side, but it comes straight to Schwartz. Hits a long, high ball in. They must have gathered a bit of pace there, because the keeper thought it was his for a moment. Suddenly it was through almost to Keown. It's Arsenal's throw. Dixon will look for a long throw. Linnigan's made a move. Of course, it was Andy Linnigan's goal in the '93 FA Cup final against Sheffield Wednesday that won it for the Gunners that set Arsenal on their Cup Winners' Cup campaign. Adams battling away, but unfairly so. A foul on Sneijder. Free kick to Zaragoza.
Not a lot wrong with this, just strength and that. But you were talking earlier about Tony Adams. I mean, you can't imagine Arsenal without Tony Adams, really. I think he epitomises what they're all about, and he's got tremendous leadership qualities. And, you know, a lot of people unkindly, I mean, I think he got the donkey tag early on his life, but he is a good player. I don't think anyone doubts that within the professional game.
I think it was greatly to his credit he battled through those taunts for a year or two there, wherever he played. Says a lot for him. Grew up very quickly through that year or two. Here's Hartson. He's grown up very quickly since he arrived from Luton as well. And he's found Wright with this ball. And he wants it back. Still with Ian Wright. Crossed in there! My goodness, I thought for a moment it was going to be an own goal. And so did Solano just for a moment, I think.
This is tremendous work. This is Ian Wright at his very best. I mean, doing what defenders hate, that's running in the box. And that could have just as easily gone in, Brian, as gone, a foot wide. Good defending in the end, though.
And here's the corner for Arsenal. Paul Merson will take it. Tony Adams now on the goal line in front of the keeper, but hit wider towards Linnigan. Knocked up in the air there, and the keeper's ball. But some good work there by Ian Wright leading to that moment, and played in the first place by young John Hartson.
Yeah, he did tremendously well to hold it up, but this is what you want Ian Wright doing. This is a nightmare for defenders, and he beats him quite easy, but then he's on his weaker left foot, tries to cross it. I think Keown was in there. Whether he would have got to it or not, I don't know.
Lee Dixon. Poyet. Uruguayan. Belsu. Man in this Zaragoza side who was born in that city. Adeza. Unfairly challenged. By Paul Merson. So many of these sharp haircuts in the Arsenal side, you have to think, well, is that Dixon or is that Winterburn?
I think they've had the job a lot, Brian, haven't they? 3 for the price of 1.
So a free kick then to Zaragoza.
It's quite a long way out, this, Brian, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them have a dig from here. They do tend to look on free kicks from this distance as goal-scoring opportunities.
I guess Merson got a yellow card there.
Well, there's been worse tackles gone unpunished than that, Brian, that's for sure. But maybe the referee just thinks it's about time he got a bit of a hold back on the game. Because there was 1 or 2 early on, wasn't there, that were a bit unsavoury.
Aragon and Naim are the 2 likely to have a pop with this one. It's Naim. The former Tottenham man. That would have delighted the Gunner supporters here. Naim, of course, had 5 seasons at White Hart Lane. So Hannibals bought him from Barcelona. Played in a cup final, of course. He came on, I think I'm right in saying he came on as a sub when Paul Gascoigne went off injured in that cup final against Nottingham Forest. So he had a cup winner's medal to his credit from home. Adeza. Tackling was swift and sure there. Higuera now for Zaragoza. Aragon sprays it wide to Belsui. Swain. Adeza. Aragon. Belsui. Cross coming in towards Poyet. Came off the defender. It'll be a corner.
That's the first real sign from Zaragoza that they're willing to whip early balls in, because I mean, for the first time in the match they had people forward, look, 2 or 3 white shirts. It's a great ball in, very difficult to defend. He gets there first, but it's a good block.
Poyet, man who got the header in, played for Uruguay against England at Wembley back in March. Aragon with the corner. He's sweeping in there, and it's a goal kick for Arsenal. Higuera's shots more danger to the corner flag than it was to David Seaman. So the unflappable Yorkshireman with the goal kick for Arsenal. Hitting it straight at Belsui. At last for him, a bit of freedom down that flank. Higuera's just inside him. There he is, Higuera. Snyder's making a move. Poyet's made a little move there, but it's too close to Seaman. And just in the last couple of minutes or so, they are looking a little more dangerous, a little happier with their game, Zaragoza. Hit long again towards right. Just the one man up, looking for support from the likes of Merson and Hartson. Here's Adams. Sidestepping that challenge by Pardeza, finding Winterburn down the line again for right. The flag stays down. Seguado. Cross comes in, and just too far ahead of John Hartson. That was a wicked cross, though.
Excellent again from Parler. I think so far he's been the biggest influence on the game, and it doesn't seem to matter where he goes, the ball seems to find him almost as if it's like a magnet. And that was a great ball in. Hartson thought about going in and then sort of just changed his mind, and that split second it was too late. But a great ball in, it deserves someone on the end of it.
Dixon couldn't keep it in play. Zaragoza with Naim with this throw. Lenigan shouldering his Snyder out of the way, looking around, hitting it long and forward towards Hartson. Belsui gets it back. Goalkeeper Cedran. Adams well beaten in the air. Every time it's a challenge at all there against Poyet. Now the offside is up against Higuera.
Another good decision here, but we're only talking about a yard. But they're starting to just come into it a little bit more, just a little bit more adventurous, aren't they? And the danger signs are there for Arsenal.
Goal kick at the other end. To be fair, it's a game that's living on its tension alone at the moment, Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a tremendous atmosphere in the stadium, but the fans really aren't shouting too much, which tells you that at the moment they haven't had too much to shout about either side of supporters. One of the things I think the game's crying out for is a winger or somebody wide, you know. I mean, there's not one winger on that field, a wide man, and so therefore everything's going down.
I mean, the picture we can see there, everything is gathered around the centre circle. That was a perfect illustration, as you say, that wide shot that we saw there.
And even the people finding themselves in wide positions, like Parler, like Merson, they're not actually wingers when they get there. They're not going to dot the shoulder, go past people and like to hook the line. So that's the one thing. And to be fair, neither is Zaragoza. They're nobody like that. So maybe that's why the game's a little bit tight and not so interesting to watch as it could be.
It's Adams with this free kick, wanting Keown to come back a little bit, wanting someone, Parler, to move across a little to the right. And he's got what he wants, and he floats it in towards John Hartson, and Wright trying to get in behind them, and the keeper was down.
Oh, hey, there's a shove in the back, right in the full face of the referee.
Shove in the back there by Aguado on Wright.
Well, I mean, technically it's a penalty. He just goes across him. That's what defenders do. No. And Wright had a little push in him, but what he did was unbelievable, and the referee saw it.
Well, the referee was looking straight at him.
Yeah.
Ingo Schwarz. I gather through our grapevine that a gentleman sitting just a couple or 3 yards away from me, Terry Venables, also felt that should have been a penalty.
Oh, no doubt about it, technically, but, you know, for a referee to make that decision in a game of this magnitude, when he's been assessed and everything, and it's very difficult.
Dixon. Cáceres. Falls conveniently for Higuera, up to Snyder. Days up ahead of him. And Belsway.
This is a great chance now for Zaragoza. Offside flag is up. The offside flag is up.
Don't worry, Arsenal fans. The Zaragoza fans felt that was in, but there was no doubt whatsoever that Pardeza, in my mind, was clearly offside. Yes, and that proves the point.
Well, that's when Belsay looked like a fullback there, because a forward wouldn't have hesitated to go on, try and drop a shoulder, go inside or outside and have a shot. But he was looking to release it, and in the end, Ardesa, he was way offside.
Aragon. Belsway. Adams dropping back. Ardesa. Parler holding him up there just for a moment, but not long enough. Solano. Naim. Snyder's in the middle there. Ardeza's in the middle there. Wyatt's made a run from the back as well. Higuera. Flaggards again up for an offside. Well, here we have a look again now at Wright.
Yeah, he has a little push at him because he's come across him, but look at that. I mean, and the referee, you can't see him in that picture, but he's right.
The referee was, what, 3 or 4 or 5 yards just out of the shot there, looking straight at the pair of them.
You'd have to have a little bit of bottle to give that, though, Brian. I think you've got to admit that, but it should have been. Technically, it was.
Here come Zaragoza again. Deflected off Aragon, fortunately for Arsenal, straight to Andy Littman. Plays it now for Winterburn. Hartson. Schwarz, little touch by him. Merson couldn't get hold of it. Schwarz to Paul Merson. Aragon. Higuera with Belsway. Ardeza's gone ahead of him as well. Snyder's in an offside position. The Arsenal back four came forward very quickly. Naim trying to get in there. That was some good defending and good marking there by Martin Keown. Poyet, a real up and under. That's going to be quite easy for David Seaman.
I don't know what he was thinking of there, Brian. That if we were sat at the Park of Prince watching a rugby match, that would have been more in keeping. Just hoofed it up. It's crying out for someone with a little bit of invention in midfield, isn't it, as well? Everyone's sort of taking the easy way out.
Schwarz. Cáceres. Up goes Adams. Wins that comfortably. That would be fair enough. Maybe that's me. Was it fair? Was that a fair one or not a fair one?
Well, I think it was. It's just the difference in size probably decided for the referee. But I mean, he's come and attacked the ball. He's kept his eye on the ball. There's about a foot difference between the two, and maybe he thought that was the unfair part, Brian.
Well, we're coming towards inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. A free kick then, which the Argentine Cáceres will take. And there's the coach of Zaragoza, Naim. Aragon, Cáceres, Aragon, Aguado, squirts for loose to Schwartz. Don't forget at half-time we've got another competition coming up for you where you get a chance to go to the European Champions final in Vienna between Ajax and Milan, or £1,000 in cash if you prefer that. Bob will be setting the question to you during our half-time interval. Last minute of the first half. Truth and in fairness, it's been an undistinguished first half without a great deal of goal-mouth incident. But always remember, it's got to be decided here tonight, whether it be in extra time if that's needed. Indeed, one of those penalty shootouts. We will get a winner here eventually tonight. Higuera knocking it forward.
Well, Winterburn's played it for Snyder. A possible chance here for Zaragoza across the face of the goal. A mistake by Winterburn, and it very nearly cost Arsenal dearly.
And it's fell to the one man you didn't want it to fall to, because he is dangerous. But looks up, he's got to shoot, there's nobody with him. And what, foot wide? It's unlucky, really. You would have been amazed if he'd have scored from that angle, but good players do.
Yeah, but Seaman had done everything right there, it seemed to me, at any rate. And
Perfect.
Bob would certainly confirm. But Seaman then with the kick. Still 0-0. We're playing time added on at the end of the first half. Should be a little of it. There were a couple of stretchers on. No serious damage done either to Naim or Winterburn, the two who went off on stretchers. But now Keown is down, and I got the feeling then that Dixon got a smack in the face from Naim as he went by him. And in fact, Tony Adams remonstrating with the referee that there was a smack on Dixon as he went down.
It's a nasty clash, this, of heads between the two Arsenal players, Parler and Keown.
Parler and Keown. The stretcher is on for the third time in this half. And oh, look at the blood. Martin Keown, that's a nasty injury.
It could be a broken nose, Brian, couldn't it? Because that's right around the area where he got the blow from Parler.
And I think the referee and the first aid people there are probably saying, let's get him on the stretcher. But Gary Lewin at the moment is saying no. Yes, it was, oh, poor Martin Keown. It was Ray Parler who smacked him. And my goodness, you can see the blood already beginning to come out at the top of the nose there.
Maybe this time they do need to get him on a stretcher, Brian, but that was a really nasty blow. You can see the cut on his nose. I'm sure he's had his nose broken before. Most defenders not really worth calling defenders till they've had a couple of breaks of the nose, but that was a nasty clash, self-inflicted by his own player. But
well, here, right down by the dugouts, is the Arsenal goalkeeper taking a bit of refreshment. Parler also getting a bit of treatment. And I'm just wondering whether we'll see Martin Keown again in this game. Well, they've got Steve Morrow, who's a dogged, gritty little midfielder. Parler's coming off as well. So Arsenal at this moment, and we're well into injury time, my goodness, are down to 9 men. And they're taking, obviously they are worried about Keown. Parler's going off as well. And Gary Lewin, who's really been very busy looking after Keown, has now said, Parler, you're fit to go back on. You better get back on there and at least bring us up to 10. But I imagine Arsenal will now seek to carry on for the last seconds of this first half and just see what the damage to Keown is before they make any tactical decisions. And Dixon has just played it long and deep behind the goal, looking for the referee possibly to blow the half-time whistle. Summing up the first half, Kevin.
Well, you've got to say it's been a disappointing game so far, Brian. Arsenal started off quite lively, and Parlour in particular, as we said, got in the game quite a lot. But as the game's progressed, they've sort of lost the momentum, and if anything, Zaragoza have picked it up without really looking threatening. And I'm sure both managers at half-time will want the pace stepping up.
Well, there goes the half-time whistle. Will Martin Keown come out for the second half? There are going to be some running repairs to Ray Parlour as well. But at half-time here in the stadium here in Paris, in the final of the Cup Winners' Cup, it's Arsenal 0, Zaragoza 0.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. 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 Kick it.
Verso la porta, avanzano due, dai Giovanassi che passa Gulli, Gulli passa Maldini, gol! Gol! Bellissimo!
Can I kick?
Yes, you can.
You can.
Jimmy, we're up to McDonald's!
This commercial is dedicated to all those who know what practice makes. And at McDonald's do takeaway.
Any idea where Alex is?
Give you 3 guesses.
Another new car? How come?
Just happened to let it slip that French and Rossiters were looking for a talented new designer.
Wow, were they?
What do you think?
Oh, I was hoping Alex might take me for a ride.
What, again?
Fun?
Nothing.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
I think you're next, sir.
Yeah.
What's it to be then?
Just a trim, please.
You could have a Lionel Blair cut, like mine.
Lionel Blair doesn't have his hair cut like yours.
That's if he comes here.
Time for a sharp exit. Time for a cool, sharp harp.
Pint of harp, please, Chief.
Sailing, fishing, golf. No, not that bit. This bit. Call Island Holidays for your free brochure on 0800 95 95 00.
My girlfriend Kirby says I never introduced her to any of my friends. So today I brought one along to meet her. I asked her to take a drive with me down to the beach. I wanted to talk to her. I think I remember proposing to her. And then we tied the knot with a Diet Coke.
Well, it's Arsenal 0, Real Zaragoza 0 here in Paris. I think it was described as an undistinguished first half, Terry Venables, and it's culminated really in a very serious injury to Martin Keown. Gary Lewin, the Arsenal video, has described his nose as shattered.
it looked an awful incident. You know, I mean, we've had a collection of frantic tackles, and it's built up, and it's really told the story into that awful challenge. And it looked like, in actual fact, that Parler gets the worst of it. It looks like, as you see here, Keown is going into him. What we've seen, and hopefully in the second half they'll settle down and play the football. All the time it's 0-0, that fear is within them, and it's a huge game for them, a cup final. And the old story, they say we need a goal.
We need a goal.
Yeah.
Let's at least for you at home move on to a little bit happier news. A competition for you now. Your chance really to be our VIP guest at the Champions League final, which is 2 weeks tonight. What a great final it should be. AC Milan against Ajax. You can take £1,000 in cash if you prefer, but there's one single question here to answer for you. Here it comes right now, and it is: which London club did Real Zaragoza star Naim previously play for? Was it A, Tottenham Hotspur, or B, West Ham United? The number to ring is 0891 10 15 10. That's 0891 10 15 10. The lines are open until midday on Sunday, and the results will be in our next Champions League special on May the 20th. I think we've got a little interview now. We've got Gary Newbon downstairs, and I think he's with last year's hero, and that's Alan Smith, of course.
Yes, certainly am, Bob. What's it like to watch? It's a tense game out there.
Yeah, it's murder to watch, actually. I've not had that much experience, but, you know, the few close shaves that we've had, it's been quite tense.
And a nasty injury to Martin Keown, where they think his nose is shattered.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because Martin was playing well and he was doing a good marking job on Naim, so we're going to miss him if he doesn't come back home.
And would you think Parler would need some stitches? They look pretty bad.
Yeah, it looked bad, and they insist on stitches, I think, if you've got a cut, but I'm sure they'll be okay, and he's played well this half.
So if Arsenal are going to win this match, what would you like to see them doing? More width?
Possibly, you know, I mean, I think we've dominated it territorially, except maybe for the last 15 minutes, but we've had a couple of half chances. If we can get the ball in the box, a few more corners maybe, we've got a good chance.
OK, thank you very much, Alan. You can go back to your seat and we can go to a break. Thanks for joining us.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers is the big eat that really satisfies.
And cut. Play back.
Check the gate, please, boys. Save the red.
OK, bigger bar, let's go again.
OK, boys, girls, stand by. Let's go to first position. Shoot again, please.
Plenty left, it's a bigger bar. Bigger bar, take two. More satisfying than ever. Snickers is the big eat that's now even bigger.
Wonderful idea of yours, Atkins, to test the new luxury Astra CDX in the desert.
Yes, it was because of my idea for the air conditioning, you see.
How could I forget it?
And the CDJD, the MD loved that idea.
I'll bet she did. Oh, but Atkins, we're forgetting that other great idea of yours.
Oh? What?
Well, comparing the luxury of driving a CDX against a more basic form of transport.
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
Are you sure this is my idea, JD?
Oh, come, Atkins. Modesty, modesty.
Oh. Sorry, JD. Oh, just a wee second. Wait a wee second. Oh.
In those days, I never really thought about why I ate shredded wheat, but lately I've discovered something that's really made me think. Shredded wheat has no added salt and no added sugar. That's because it's only made with 100% whole wheat. If you ask me how many other cereals could say that, I'd have to think.
Nestle shredded wheat and bite-sized too.
You won't find a better cereal.
Buy your glasses from Vision Express and they'll be ready in about an hour, even bifocals and varifocals. And you'll get a pair of prescription sunglasses from a selected range, worth at least £89, and absolutely free. Free prescription sunglasses from Vision Express.
I'm in trouble. I'm the head hole watcher at hula hoops. Only I haven't been watching closely enough and somebody's been stealing the holes. There's up to £100,000 reward if you can find a hula hoop like this. So please find them before someone finds out.
Kevin, don't even think about coming home without that new video.
Somehow, Saturday was always a bad day for Kevin.
Yeah, good film, nice length, good colour, good quality, good production. Really enjoyed it, yeah. Haven't got it.
It's out until...
Hi, man. We're the Blockbuster Entertainment team.
Meet Benny, Sandy, Bob, and Kate. They're the Blockbuster Entertainment team, and they buy more copies of the films you want than anyone.
I want 25,000 copies nationwide.
So people like Kevin can have a life like Kevin. Blockbuster Video, the entertainment team.
After eating, dentists agree plaque acid weakens tooth enamel, but chewing Orbit or Wriggles Extra stimulates saliva, which fights plaque acid and helps strengthen teeth against decay.
That's a clean taste.
Yeah, it's cold filter.
What is that, like a coffee filter or something?
No, man, it's finer than that.
Like an oil filter?
Suck up, please.
How about a swimming pool filter?
Oh, it's not like no swimming pool filter. It's just like a cold filter that gives you that clean taste, okay?
Okay. It's cool.
No, it's not cool. It's cold.
No goals here in Paris at the moment, but problems for Arsenal. Martin Keown with a badly shattered, broken nose. Ray Parlour, we've heard, has got stitches in the head as well. But Terry, we're hearing at the moment that Martin Keown is trying to insist and tell the doctors he wants to come back.
It's a bit of a surprise, that, because you would have thought that would have been a bit dangerous, but only those in the dressing room actually know. Here you can see it's a tremendous impact between Parlour and Keown. I mean, really, it's an awful batter there. I mean, you could feel it, couldn't you?
I would think you'd be taking a great risk, but just tell me, Terry, how you feel that tactically we're going to get a better second half. What do you think they're going to be saying?
Well, I think that Zaragoza will come. They've got to throw. They're playing one striker and two behind. Those two behind are defending too much. They've got to join the front player, Snyder, very quickly. At the moment, they're leaving him on his own, and Arsenal are having no problems with him at all.
Yeah. So you really, I mean, hopefully, I mean, we will get something better, won't we? We are.
Oh, well, we're keeping our fingers crossed. But the thing with Snyder, he is such a good player. We can't just say, well, he's not in the game tonight. You just can't relax. There was one chance, and he could have put them one up in the first half.
David Hillier on a sub.
Yes,
David
well, that doesn't
Hillier.
surprise me, no.
Yeah, and I'm just hearing that Stuart Houston's down there, the Arsenal manager, with Gary. Let's hear from him.
Stuart, Martin Keown was trying to get back in the match, we heard, but he's not playing.
No, he's got a really nasty one down the nose there. It's quite concerning me now. He's not going to start the second half. And I've got another concern as well with Nigel Winterburn. We've sent him out second half. Hope he'll be okay, but it wouldn't surprise me if Nigel's got to come off as well.
What's his problem?
He's got a problem with his back. So, you know, we're up against it at the moment, but, you know, we've just got to dig in.
All that in the half when you could have well have had a penalty. We thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, I looked at penalty from where I was. Not a great deal of chances so far, but let's hope we can just maybe get a 1-0 tonight. That would do lovely.
That would do nicely.
Back in the commentary box now with me, Brian Moore. Alongside me is Kevin Keegan. David Hillier is on in place of Martin Keown. And Nigel Winterburn really does look to be struggling, taking the point that Stuart Houston was saying. And Steve Morrow's doing some warming up, so it could well be, I would think, Steve Morrow who would come on if Winterburn has to go off. But the one quality that Arsenal have shown so often in these last 2 or 3 years in particular is great spirit, and it's really called for now in these particular circumstances. Still at 0-0, looking for Ian Wright to get in behind the man again. Will the ball bounce for him kindly there? No, it wouldn't, and Zaragoza get it away again. Aguado and Cáceres between them. Well, there's David Hillier, who's on. He's a tough little marker, you know, Kevin, isn't he?
Yeah, I think where the sole look is, he's a very similar player to Keown. I mean, obviously he's not exactly the same. I don't think he marks as intensely, but he does come in and join in the play a little bit more, and that might be useful for Arsenal if they start to knock it around and that. He is a little bit better at that than Keown. But of course, if he's marking Naim, you know, we've got to look, maybe Naim will come into the game a little bit more, and then that's the downside of it.
Elsewhere with the throw. Parler. I understand he had stitches in a head wound after that terrible clash with Martin Keown. Here's Dixon. Moving well down that right flank. Hillier's just inside him, just behind him rather. Ooh. Hit long there towards John Hartson. Well, Hartson was almost pulled over there by Belsway. That's a dangerous game the Spanish defender was playing there.
And the referee's there again, Brian.
Well,
he's
looking directly at it.
10 yards from it. Look at this.
What's going on?
Yeah, you've seen them given, not very often, mind you. Because
Winterburn is off. Sorry to break in, Kevin. Winterburn is off, and Steve Morrow is on. Well, it's tough for Nigel Winterburn. He's important for Arsenal, but don't underestimate Steve Morrow, the lad from Belfast. And of course, as you will remember, I'm sure, he was very much involved in the final last year against Parma.
Yeah, it's a shame because that means no more substitutions.
Absolutely.
Obviously for Arsenal. You could be looking at extra time here as well, which, you know, means players getting tired, maybe cramp and that. So they really are in many ways up against it. But as we said, they love a challenge, Arsenal, and they'll probably come through this. Don't be surprised if they don't, you know. Or you would be surprised if they don't, should I say.
Solana getting it forward. Higuera. He's tricked Parler this time. Tries to get the ball through to Snyder. Adams, for once a mistake by Tony Adams. And Higuera going in behind them, and Seaman is down there, and Arsenal just for a moment were trembling on the brink.
Linnigan did very, very well there to get back at him. The lad just gave him half a chance by delaying, but his second favourite here, as you see, probably hasn't got a left foot as good as a right. He's trying to get back on his right, but he does very well. And then Seaman does the rest.
And it all started with a very uncharacteristic mistake from the Arsenal skipper. Aragon. Higuera. Solano. Very experienced player. Hoyet, the Uruguayan. Just beating Merson to the ball. Hoyet again, but Parler will get there first this time. That's a free kick. Good bit of refereeing, actually, because the referee just waited fractionally to see whether Parler could keep his feet and get going.
Yeah, the one thing he has done, he's missed a couple of little incidents and a very big one with the Ian Wright incident in the first half, but he has allowed the game to flow at all times when it's been possible, and I like that in a referee. I think most people do.
Little touch there from Wright. Hillier couldn't pick it up. Boyett now, the 6-footer who plays in midfield. Here's Parler again. Hartson. Hillier. Parler again. Now Lee Dixon. Well, it didn't fall at all for Hartson. And the Spaniards come away again. Pardeza. He is number 7, Pardeza. They'll sway outside him, knocking it back to Pardeza from Higuera. Still Pardeza. Claims an obstruction there. Tony Adams is claiming there was a dive. And as Snyder, who's on a very short fuse always in his game, having words there with Tony Adams.
Yeah, he makes a meal of that, doesn't he? I think Tony Adams is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is a dangerous situation. This is about 5 or 6 yards closer than the one that Naim hit last time. And this is in what you would call possible goal-making area, isn't it? What is it? 25 yards?
Yeah, just under 25, I would think. Snyder's there and Higuera's there. Oh, my goodness. Came off the defender. Didn't quite see how that happened, did you?
When they deflect like that, you don't know where they're going. It looked like it was going in the goal at one stage. It actually came out for a throw-in. So the bins aren't what they used to be.
Pardeza doing well. He's done well here. But again, Seaman stood up strong at that near post. He wasn't going to be beaten there and hammered the ball away. Suddenly, Zaragoza are beginning to look increasingly dangerous as this second half begins to develop.
This is real good goalkeeping. He has to stand up. That's the most important thing, and he does that. Look, just makes a block. Bob Wilson will be delighted with that. They'll have worked on that in training. Just stand your ground. Don't go down early. You've always got a chance.
It's David Seaman then with the clearance. Heading it towards Paul Merson. Came off the midfielder Poy at that time and almost to right, but here's Snyder. Little touch there. Snyder trying to get there first, but Seaman read that beautifully again. Just sense the tide is beginning to turn a little bit, Kevin.
Well, it started, I mean, after 15-20 minutes when Arsenal were on top, and you felt that Zaragoza were giving them so much respect that it was just a matter of time before the actual territorial advantage was turned into goals. But as the game has gone on, certainly towards the end of the second half, the start certainly of this, end of the first half, this second half, Zaragoza are taking the game to Arsenal. It's a complete reverse, isn't it?
Solana now. To Pardeza. Being challenged and being beaten by Stefan Schwartz. But then Schwartz took on a little too much there. Naim, knocking it forward. Boyett. Into Higuera. Pardeza's up there as well. Higuera's shot well wide of the mark and no power whatsoever in it. Goal kick to Arsenal. Game incidentally is going live to 39 European countries. The Department of Guesswork have been at it again. They reckon it's an audience of 120 million throughout Europe. But it's also going live right around the world. Live tonight in America as well. And throughout Asia and the Far East. And as yet, around the world, we are awaiting the opening goal. Hartson can't get to that one. But Parler did well. Merson playing it on, and Wright fractionally offside. It was the right decision. It was a hairline decision, but the linesman on the far side just about got it right. Wright, unfortunately, from Elias's point of view, happened to be beautifully in the clear beyond the last defender. Just as Snyder is here, also caught offside. Everything's being compressed at the moment, isn't it? About 25 yards either side of the halfway line. Up goes Hartson. So little room to move. Hillier just playing that in again to Hartson, but he couldn't control it. Cáceres. Forward again to Pardeza. Naim. Poyet. He'll get a shot in here, but it's rebounded off Tony Adams. It's Poyet. Uruguayan. Poyet. Going to Aragon. Right, challenging him, but Aragon just slipping that challenge well. Finds Poyet. Tries to get it again now for Aragon. That was excellent defending there by Stefan Schwartz. Needed to be. Schwartz has really been at his best in some of these European games, and that was a really timely challenge just when it looked as though Aragon might get in behind him. They'll sway now with a left foot cross towards David Seaman. Hillier gets it away. These are difficult and dangerous times for Arsenal. They're taking a good deal of pressure now. Naim, Zaragoza feel this might be their chance. Solana. Naim again, getting it long towards Esnaida, but it's Higuera. Now Pardeza. Came off Merson. Arsenal pulling everybody back. Higuera. Elsewhere. Poyet's made a break. Too far for Esnaida.
They've really started to respond now to kicking really towards their own fans of Zaragoza. And it's very quiet down the Arsenal end because since the start of the second half, they've hardly really been anywhere near the 18-yard box of the Spaniards. So we're looking for a change. But obviously, when it gets like this, you always think Ian Wright might snatch something on the break. And, you know, that is what Arsenal are about at times.
Dixon there with a header. Hartson hadn't quite got back into an onside position. 30 goals this season for this man. Remember, 9 of them in Europe. Scored in every round. Phenomenal record. Morrow, who's in at left back, of course, in place of Nigel Winterburn. Just getting ahead to that one. To deny Esnaida. Stuart Houston issuing the orders. Zaragoza with the throw. And minute by minute, this is really building up. Pardeza. Esnaida tried to get a touch.
No flag there, Brian. That was a great ball in it. I mean, he was just at full stretch. And, if he gets a touch on this, David Seaman could be in trouble. He's not far away, look. Just nearly gets his studs on it.
Just about got a touch. No more. Seaman with the clearance. Up to Hartson. Arsenal looking for a bit of inspiration through the midfield and up in attack now. Morrow. Merson. Gets it back to Adams. Adams taking the safe way out. Some 11 minutes of the second half gone. Still 0-0 in this European Winners' Cup final in the Parc des Princes in Paris. Stefan Schwartz didn't really get a touch on that. Pardeza eventually getting the ball down to Belsway. Poyet. Pardeza. Oh, Belsway onside. Esnaida in the middle. Esnaida, let it go. Higuera, a great save again. And again, this time just over the top. The nearest to a goal all night. Andy Linnigan insisting that the linesman should have had the flag up.
I think he's right, Brian, as well, but it's very difficult when it comes near to where the linesman is. And what a great dummy this is.
And what a great save that is. And what a relief that was. Good work again by David Seaman. Charged it down. He's got such great strength in his arms.
Yeah, a lot of goalkeepers, Brian, that would have gone through, you know. We call them chocolate wrists. But he certainly hasn't got them, has he? He proved that before. But
he looked fractionally offside.
He was offside, Brian, but it's impossible for the linesman to watch the ball when it's on that side. And that's when they get caught out. And you've got to forgive them that. It is really difficult. We know that from our games this season. You just can't watch the ball, the man, and everything. Maybe 2,000 Spaniards bawling down his ears as well.
Correct.
Probably had a slight influence.
Someone's thrown a large orange or an orange ball on the field. It's been chucked off again. Naim with the throw. Here's Naim again. Aragon. giving Parlour the run around there. But the flag was up for an offside in any case against Higuera. He's made a couple of excellent saves in this second half, but then we come to expect that of this big man now, don't we?
Yeah, what's all the more remarkable when you think about it, he hasn't really had that much to do. So the concentration is the one thing that's so important, and he's got that, and that's why, you know, he plays for England, and that's why he'll play, I think, for another 5 or 10 years, because he keeps himself fit.
Still only 31.
Yeah, he's just a baby as far as goalkeepers go. When you compare him with someone like John Burridge, who played for Manchester City last week, he's got a good 12 years left in him yet.
Linnigan heaving it forward, up to Hartson, tried the little delicate knockdown, gets it back again. Will the ball bounce for him? Here it has. The cross wants to come to Merson! Oh, headed off the line. That was Hartson's perseverance and Merson's opportunism, very nearly producing a goal for Arsenal out of the blue.
Yeah, he's a little bit fortunate to get in there, but what a great ball he pulls back. And this is a terrific header, and the defender never gives it up. And that's what saved the day. It had to be straight at him, though, didn't it? Otherwise, he could have done nothing about it.
Well, Sway with the header off the line. Parlour to Schwartz, trying to get right in, and does so. That was a great ball by Schwartz, but again, it just didn't fall for Ian Wright.
It just zipped off the surface there, Brian. Although some of the players said the pitch was a little bit wobbly, it seems as if the dew from the evening is just getting the better of players at times, and it's making the ball just fly away from them.
It's coming up to 20 to 10 here. 25 to 10. There's Poyet. Good lazy ball he played out there, but it was beautifully played for Belsway. Here's Pardeza. Oh, the linesman completely changed his mind there. Pardeza thought it was his, and he looked at the referee. Obviously, the referee said, no, it's the other way.
But to be fair, the referee did right. He was in a much better position to see this than the linesman was, and that's good refereeing. It annoys players when they change their mind, though.
Poyet. Good challenge again, this time by Hillier. Here comes Merson. Arsenal responding to that pressure that they faced just a few minutes ago, and they've now started to come out. Came off Aragon for a throw to Arsenal. Now the Arsenal fans are beginning to be heard around the Parc des Princes, hoping that their side could be the first ever since the European Cup Winners' Cup was first played for back in 1961. The first to successfully defend it. Free kick.
This is a dangerous area to give away a free kick against Arsenal, because the one thing everybody knows they're good at and they work on a lot is free kicks, and they've got quite a good height advantage even without Martin Keown in there, Brian.
Linnigan's in there. Adams coming forward slowly at the moment. He wants two in the wall. He's got two in the wall. Belsway and Higuera. Merson with this free kick. Hartson's very active in there. Linnigan's very active in there. Adams too. It's come to Adams on the far side, and Linnigan too. The keeper grabbed it. Years old now, big Andoni Cedron. Actually played against Wrexham in the Cup Winners' Cup back in 1987 when Wrexham very, very nearly beat Real Zaragoza. I think it was 2-2 up at the racecourse. And the Spaniards winning on away goals, but this man was in action that night. Linnigan going for this one, winning it well in the air. Merson with a touch, and that's good play by Merson. That's lovely play by Merson, and he's trying to get right in. And suddenly, Arsenal seem to have caught the breeze. It's a good ball too. Played again for Merson, now for Schwartz. Good left foot, hits it for Dixon. But there are plenty of white shirts that have gone back. They're going to see what they can do on the far side now. Hillier with the cross. Hartson trying to get in to pick up the pieces, but again, Real Zaragoza get it away. Dixon playing it in again. Aragon.
The one thing you notice now, Brian, is this game's really opening up, and that's what it needed, to be honest with you.
Valdeza. Higuera's come towards him. There's Snyder. Trying to go around Linnigan and succeeding. But Linnigan's back at him, biting back once more. And it'll be a throw.
Did very well there, Andy Linnigan. He never gave up the goals because the lad was half a yard ahead of him. He just kept on his tail. Eventually got his reward, put it out for a throw.
Naim with the throw. Hardeza playing it in. And over the top from Poyet. They claim, actually, I think possibly with some justification from this distance, that that Seaman may have got a touch on it. So a goal kick it is. Ball by Ian Wright, but it was an accident, and that's a free kick surely to Arsenal. Foul on Ian Wright. And a yellow card. I think it's for Aragon.
Yeah, what they're complaining about is the handball just before this incident, the Spaniards, but it doesn't justify the tackle. But I think,
well, it's Belsway who's got the yellow card surely, but the referee, in fact, is also giving Snyder a yellow card, is he? Well, you know, he's shoving Snyder away. Belsway with the yellow card. Now, what can Arsenal do here? Schwartz. Well, Stefan Schwartz, who's got a good left foot on him. Driving it straight at Snyder. Hillier trying to get across to it. And Higuera cracking the ball into touch. I got a feeling Higuera might be the one that's going off. They're going to make a substitution very soon. And San Juan, number 14, is coming on. Hillier with the throw. Here's Schwartz. It's a real drive there. But a deflection that didn't go Arsenal's way. They claim a handball inside the box, too far from here to see whether it was or not. But certainly the Arsenal fans, they may be slightly biased, mind you, much nearer to it, said it was a handball. But in the meantime, it's Snyder coming forward. Belsway. Well challenged by Morrow. And the ball comes through the right. It's a better game in this second half now. Arsenal's throw. Coming up to almost the halfway mark of the second half. Higuera coming off.
They got new electronic substitute changing machines now, Brian. The game's really advancing.
Well, Higuera's off. San Juan, 23-year-old midfielder. He's played in 5 European games this season for Zaragoza. Free kick to the Spaniards. Wright having words there with Guardo. Oh, dig in the back there by Belsway. Wasn't much to it, but Snyder with a shot, a good shot, a terrific goal. And Snyder has put Zaragoza into the lead. A fantastic shot that actually left David Seaman standing. Well, he's been their leading scorer. He's their dangerous character. He scored 2 against Chelsea in the first leg in Zaragoza.
You can't even call that a chance, Brian. He's made it out of absolutely nothing. And I mean, the strike is ferocious. You can't, if you're a goalkeeper, you can't move. Look, he has no chance. And what is he, 3 yards from it, really? What a great goal. And, you know, maybe they just about deserved to edge it, but it was always going to take something special.
And I tell you what, we were talking about Ian Wright scoring every round, and we hope he does. But this man has done it. Snyder has scored now in every round of this competition.
I bet you hasn't scored one better than that, Brian.
That was a remarkable goal.
You can always tell when a great goal's been scored, because the first thing it's always greeted with is silence, like a disbelief. And I thought it had gone wide because there was no cheering from their fans, and then they suddenly realised they'd seen something.
Well, I thought it had gone wide because David Seaman was standing stock still. Let's have another special look with our own camera here as Snyder walks this one in, takes it on, a little touch with the left foot, and then a volley, and that's just going in the post there. And there's nothing at all, even a goalkeeper of David Seaman's quality could do about it.
It's actually at the side netting and just grazed inside the post. It's a terrific goal.
He's had a remarkable season. As you can see, that's his record there. But I tell you, that's also another record that he won't be very happy about. He's been sent off 3 times this season. He lives very much on a football field on the short fuse. But what a bit of talent there was there.
Unfortunately, Brian, that always seems to go with talent, doesn't it? There's something like that, but...
Now Schwartz. Well, that was a fairly callous challenge there by San Juan, the substitute. Arsenal's only route into Europe next season is through this competition, remember. It's time enough yet, another 20 minutes.
Of course, against Sampdoria, everyone thought they were struggling and they got back in it.
Up again there. The header back calmly measured. The goalkeeper, Andoni Cedron. San Juan. Elsewhere. Oh, Adams almost having his shirt pulled off him there by Poyet. Well, I find that extraordinary that the free kick's given Zaragoza's way.
Of course, there's no other options available to Studios, and they can't make any changes and bring a forward on. These lads have got to get them through it.
Both Arsenal substitutes are on if you've just joined us. Martin Keown with a badly broken nose just before half-time has gone. Nigel Winterburn has gone off with an injury just early in the second half, and David Hillier and Steve Morrow, the 2 Arsenal subs, have already been used. And they're a goal down with about 19 minutes of this Winners' Cup final remaining. Finnegan losing it. Pardays are going on. The whistle had gone. There's a foul on the Arsenal defender. Free kick to the holders for the challenge there. Hillier does well, finds Parler. Bit of space now, Dixon taking it on. Oh, he very nearly got that through to Merson. Flag is up for offside against Snyder. Couldn't have been more than about 5 yards inside the Arsenal half. The score of the remarkable goal so far. It's a lovely stadium here, built in 1970. Here come Arsenal again. Poyet up there, but that time beaten in the air by Tony Adams. He's having a real running battle, Adams is, with the referee, verbally that is. Happy with the treatment he received as he went for that ball there. This is the goal again. It's the first touch is excellent, the volley is just memorable.
And it was always going to take something like that to beat David Seaman, because anything anywhere near him, quite a bit away from him tonight, he's handled very well, but he just can't do nothing about those sort of things.
There's it to Belsway, offside against Snyder.
And I think that's good refereeing, because the rule is, if anybody's in that area of what they call, you know, where the ball comes, and he is, even though he's trying to come out of it, it's that push afterwards that the Spanish fans are bawling about, but I don't think there's anything in it. Handbags at 6 pace or even 10 paces.
Seaman right outside. And they're wanting Snyder to go back 10 yards. I hope David Seaman's kick is a good one. Snyder couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 yards when the kick was actually taken. Merson got up well there. Morrow backpedaling. Couldn't prevent the Zaragoza player, San Juan, getting a touch there, and that one there, but it was not beat this time by Tony Adams. Played on by Hillier. Up to Hartson again. Arsenal's throw.
You see the pitch there, Brian. That ball just wouldn't sit down for him. It just kept bouncing higher and higher. It gave him a difficult task in the end.
Caceres. San Juan. To Snyder. Just as well for Arsenal that Dixon got a hold of that one. Hardeza was on the far side. Wright won't get to that. Goal kick.
Yeah, Wright's really annoyed there because he pulled off into a great position, but the quality of the ball in the final third just wasn't good enough.
What I'm pleased to see there also is that the temptation by Zaragoza now is to waste time. The goalkeeper was going to take plenty of time getting that goal kick going. And the referee was across very quickly indeed to make sure that that goal kick was taken. Stuart Houston there, keeping a check on the time on his player's behalf. Well, there's a quarter of an hour left still. Morrow does well at full stretch, but then gives the ball to San Juan. Here's Hardeza, the captain. Poyet, Belsway, Hardeza, but Linnigan gets it. Tony Adams playing much further forward, as Overture pointed to me there.
Yeah, he's sort of got to play centre forward. I mean, there's still a lot of time left. They don't go and chip away any chance by being too adventurous. It's not something that Arsenal probably have been accused of very often, but he's gone up to play as an orthodox centre forward, so they're really going to just throw everything at them.
Well, they've got him behind them now. Ray Parlour, a little touch by him. Merson is a chance here, possibly. It's gone in! Arsenal have equalised. Ian Wright.
Well, if there's one man you wanted it to fall to, Brian, it was this man, wasn't it? And now they've both got the record.
Well, that was amazing. And Parlour had a big part in it. A deflection there. The ball comes across. Merson, you thought, had a wonderful chance, and in the end it's Wright who just stabs it.
I'm not sure if it is Wright. It might be Hartson.
Hartson was in there too.
Wright reacted like he scored it, but maybe Hartson got this touch, Brian.
Hartson!
Even the announcement over the loudspeaker here is Hartson. It is Wright, but I'm sure it's Hartson.
Wow, that's a terrific blow for Arsenal. Nodded back there. Hartson the scorer.
Tony Adams has gone back to centre half now.
Yeah.
After a minute up there, they've scored a goal. He maybe should stay up there.
Now let's see what happens. Schwartz gets in there. Let's see how the Spanish now respond to this. Elsewhere. San Juan. Oh.
In golf, that would be called a fresh air shot, that, Brian.
Absolutely.
Just replace a divot and walk away embarrassed, but he just took his eye off the ball. Even at this level, you know, top-class players, they do it occasionally.
Let's have another look at the goal, which brings Arsenal back into it. Merson here. Hartson with his first European goal.
Snyder's a little bit lucky there. He had a little dig at Adams after that event, and the referee saw it. You saw him there just saying to him, "Hey, pal, don't think I didn't see that." I think the referee's done very well, Brian.
Well, let's see if Arsenal can now do very well themselves. Merson. Knocked away, though, by Aguado. Dixon. Getting down at the near post for that one as Ian Wright came in again. It's a foul by Tony Adams. He's riling his Snyder now. And they take this free kick quickly. Poyet's up there. Just don't want Arsenal to lose their shape and their discipline now in their eagerness to now go for the jugular.
Well, I don't think that they will, because they've now got back in the game and they'll get back to the pattern they enjoy most, and they'll look to win it from here. And it's usually the side coming from behind, Brian, who carry the momentum to win a game. So let's hope that's the case.
Villiers battling. Aragon. Poyet. Good challenge by Wright, but an unfair one on San Juan. He's not happy about it. It's a free kick.
I didn't see too much wrong with this either, Brian. He just comes across him. I don't think the player complained, but the referee saw it differently.
But now this becomes a real test of nerves from here on in. 10 minutes of normal time remaining. The score at 1-1. Morrow battling away, as Arsenal are battling away with both their subs on now. Pardeza. Here's the Hartson goal again. Great work in the first place by Parler. Suddenly it comes in for Merson. Merson then plays it in here.
He does very well because he's falling backwards and he gets a good enough strike on it. Merson actually, I think the goalkeeper especially thought he must shoot here, and he got himself pretty much towards his near post, and that's probably contributed to his downfall in the end, because he didn't go in the corner of the net, he went 2 or 3 yards inside the post.
I mean, certainly the first look that we had at, we were confused by it, and the Arsenal players themselves all ran to Ian Wright.
That's right, it's the way Ian Wright ran away, you know. He ran as if he'd scored the goal, and of course he was quite close by, about a yard behind that. I don't think it matters who scored it. It's a crucial goal for Arsenal, because they were starting to chase the game and they really needed that, lessening the scales.
Adams has now gone to lock up the back door. Finds Morrow with this one. Get forward again towards Ian Wright. Hartson. Hillier. Wright onside. No flag. Curls it in again. And Hillier there just nodding it forward for Parler, giving Arsenal a bit of width on that right-hand side now, Kevin.
Yeah, like I said, he probably can't man-to-man mark quite as good as Keown can, but he's certainly a little bit more inventive, and I think they've profited from that, certainly in this second now.
Dixon to Hillier. His cross coming in. That time Belsway gets it away. He's already headed one off the line, remember, from Merson. Parler. Was he brought down? Yes, I think the free kick's given. Or is it a corner?
I think the linesman just took the referees took the easy way out and given the corner, but it...
No, free kick. Free kick.
Right.
Free kick.
It looked like there was a challenge there that was probably unfair.
Hartson in there, Wright in there, Linnigan up from the back. Adams is going in there too. Dixon will fire it back in again. Play it down the line. He hoped to play it down the line towards Stefan Schwartz, but it didn't look like reaching him. Merson getting back. Here's Morrow. Belsway. Here's Snyder. The flag has stayed down again. Pardeza's in there as well. Pardeza. No penalty. The referee had a good look at it, and the Spanish players, 2 of them have pushed at him, and the substitutes have gone towards the linesman, and I think there'll be some more trouble here. Aragon is going to have trouble. He's got a yellow card, and they really felt that was a penalty. Did you think it was a penalty?
I'd like to see it again, Brian. It all happened so quickly, but he certainly slid in. Whether he actually got the ball or not, I don't know. I think he may have. No, he didn't. I've seen them given, but I've also seen them not given the other night at Blackburn. I mean, I thought it looked like a penalty. Keith Gillespie said possibly it wasn't after the game, but difficult one for the referee. I don't know how far behind the play is, but look, it's a reckless challenge, but it was a do-or-die one from Dixon, and he got away with it.
It remains at 1-1. It remains 6 minutes left. And Seaman hits the ball forward towards Ian Wright. Knocked back by him. Solana gets it clear for Zaragoza. Parler didn't come back quickly enough. It's offside, and the ball was punched away there by Hartson, which was a stupid thing to do. He's already got a yellow card right early in the game.
The game's swung again. It's now Arsenal who are having their spell. No team's dominated it, but they've all had the little spells where they've had the better of it. And now it's Arsenal, it seems to me, who possibly can go on and win it in the last 5 minutes if anyone's going to win it.
Right. Latest score, Manchester United 1, Southampton 1. A game, of course, that Manchester United have to win to keep in touch. And West Ham 1, Liverpool 0. West Ham's survival hopes in the Premiership enhanced by that scoreline. Liverpool, of course, already qualified for Europe through the Coca-Cola Cup final this season. Schwartz. Hartson.
Parler just holding his head there, Brian, but I tell you, for me, he's been one of the outstanding players for Arsenal tonight. He started off bright. He hasn't been in the game as much in the second half.
How'd you like to have a seat next to him?
Yeah, when you've got 2 teenage daughters, that wouldn't bother you, I tell you.
Up goes Adams, wins it very comfortably in the air, finds Ian Wright with it. Wright trying to turn it over Aguado, obstructed by the Spanish central defender. Arsenal's free kick. Stefan Schwartz with a bit of a nip in the air now after a beautiful day in Paris.
I think even this is a little bit far out for Stefan Schwartz. This is 40 yards, isn't it? 30, 35. It looks like he's going to hit it.
It's got to be an indirect, hasn't it?
He's going to just touch it though, I think.
Wouldn't have been indirect. I thought that was given for obstruction. Extra time is beginning to beckon. There's 3 minutes left of normal time. Are we going to get another dramatic night of penalties here? Aragon knocking the ball forwards. San Juan, he's done well here. Not so well there. Goal kick.
Excellent run from San Juan. You know, it's never easy to come on substitute in any game, especially a big game, but just didn't quite contact it the way he wanted to, but excellent run.
San Juan again for the header. Hartson trying to go up. It falls now for Merson. Merson, though, beaten by Belsway up to Pardeza. Offside against Sneijder, no doubt about that, and then kicks the ball away.
Yeah, there'll be people watching that and thinking, hey, that's a yellow card. We've been seeing them all year long, all season long in England. But he's telling the lines on what he thinks of it. I don't know Spanish, but it didn't sound very nice.
Morrow. It's a keeper's ball, but Hartson's going for him, and the keeper didn't know where he was for a moment, but the foul's given against John Hartson. He was jumping at the goalkeeper.
Wouldn't have been a foul when you first started commentating that, Brian?
A long way.
You should knock the goalkeepers into the nets with the ball, didn't they?
Guado. San Juan. Schwartz getting in very niftily indeed. Back to David Seaman. Right. Poyet gets it again. Verdeza's drifted onto the far side now. Here's his cross. It came off the Arsenal player, and Seaman there just getting in before Poyet. Poyet challenging Seaman. Seaman grabbed the ball, and the Uruguayan, in fact, banged into Seaman.
Got a little deflection, this, and made it a little bit more difficult, but David Seaman was so positive. Poyet feels like he's hit a brick wall there.
Yes, nice feet, he's okay. Just that little deflection there, and it helped it just perhaps fractionally towards David Seaman. Arsenal's kick. Verdeza. Free kick there for the foul by Hillier.
He's a busy little player. He really is. You can see why he's captain of the side. He leads by example. His work rate's tremendous.
Great time added on at the end of 90 minutes. Extra time now is beckoning here in the Parc des Princes. Another foul conceded this time by Hillier. The free kick taken too quickly. And Arsenal are thankful for that. Well, there we are. That's the end of 90 minutes.
The second 45 was much better, Brian,
It was much better, and it's going to get even better now in terms of the sheer drama of it. We stand at 1-1. We take a break. We'll be back for the whole of extra time. We won't miss a thing, but it's 1-1 here in the Parc des Princes.
SensorTrack shock absorbers give you extra control when you need it most. SensorTrack shock absorbers only by Monroe, making the road a safer place.
You can get all these kitchen units and the appliances and save over £250 at B&Q.
A tornado is a rapidly rotating column of air in contact with the ground. It comes from thunderstorms. Drop probes into the paths of tornadoes, trying to get an idea of what kind of force is contained within these vortices. Maneuverability is very important. In split-second situations, there's very little margin for error.
Tackling even the longest grass is so easy with the powerful Flymo Ventura.
There are no medals for being the shoulder to cry on, no awards for passing on traditions. But to the men who give their best every day, we offer our best. Gillette Sensor XL. Spring-mounted blades and microfins for the closest, most comfortable shave. And Gillette Series shaving gel for incredible smoothness. Sensor XL, it's our best shave. And that's something every man deserves. Gillette, the best a man can get.
We're into extra time here in Paris, and Terry Venables, just very briefly, it all came alive with the Snyder goal, didn't it?
Well, we said at half-time that he wasn't playing particularly well, but you cannot leave him 1 second, because this guy is lethal around the box. He's been showing that all night. His control comes in very well. It comes out of the air there from a battle on a heading duel.
Great left foot.
One touch and he hits it before you can think about it. The goalkeeper's not ready, Seaman's not ready, and it's past him before he's even got control.
But they refused to give in John Hartson's first goal for Arsenal in Europe.
That's right. Well, Parler plays it back to Merson. Merson looks around him, sets him up, and he just whips it in across his left shoulder. He took it very well.
Here we go then, back to Kevin and Brian.
Thank you, Bob. Arsenal will kick off the start of this first period of extra time. Seems with Arsenal we've been down this road before. Dixon. Hit long towards John Hartson, into Ian Wright. Just couldn't gather the ball up and take it with him. And it's Naim down this left-hand side again for Zaragoza. There's Snyder. Aragon. Here's Paul Merson. Again hitting it long, again seeking out Ian Wright, and this time succeeded in doing so, albeit on that far side, away from the most dangerous. Oh my goodness. Oh, Caceres just whipped. It's a dreadful challenge again. Got away with it though.
There's been a few that, I think in England the referees, most of them have been fairly strict on it. We've seen a lenient attitude, to be fair, for both sides. That's the only thing you can say in the referee's favour. He hasn't prejudiced one side against the other.
But it's a free kick for Arsenal. It's Merson with it. Adams and Linnigan are both in there, and it goes straight through to keeper Sedra. Well, the drama of Coronation Street will have to wait until after the drama of this one. But as soon as this one is over, then we shall go north to Coronation Street.
Got to remember, Brian, of course, they've used the substitutions, Arsenal, and I was watching in the break there, they were all laying down, making sure that the cramp wouldn't come on, and that's a dreaded thing to have. I tell you, sometimes the broken leg's a bad thing, but cramp can be almost as bad out on a football field like Wembley or a big park like this one in Paris.
I hear also that Tony Adams is carrying something of a dead leg as well, but I mean, you've just got to soldier on. It's a good jump there by Linnigan.
I don't think you'll get him to come off.
There's Adams. Talked about the Zaragoza captain leading by example. None more so, but of course, than Tony Adams. But here's the free kick. Aragon with it. I fancy that may have moved a little bit in the air, but the big man got behind it nicely.
Struck it very well. What you don't want here is a deflection. It goes very close to two players.
Oh yes, you can see the movement there, and just came back in a little bit. Caceres gets it away. Poyet. Schwartz with a header. Poyet, who stands 6'2", nicely in the air with Zaragoza. Is Snyder. Scorer of that brilliant goal for the Spanish Cup winners. Solana. Chance for Arsenal to break. Ray Parlour leading it. Solana after him. Cáceres coming across as well. Here's Dixon trying to keep it going for Arsenal. Morrow on the far side in a fair bit of space. Long towards Ian Wright. Will it come for Paul Merson? He's caught that on the volley, but he also banged it into Aguado. Elsewhere. Adesa.
It's a little bit ambitious from Aragon there, but certainly the idea was right. He was fairly off his line, but had to lift it a lot higher. Good vision, but carried it out not so well.
Hit towards Hartson. Knocked down by him towards right. Hartson is increasingly a handful in this game for that Zaragoza defence. There's Snyder being watched by Linnigan, but it might fall for Snyder. My goodness, he caught that in no time at all on the turn. Just got that little bit under it. But from any range and any angle, this guy is a danger to the Gunners.
Does very well here. He gets on the blind side of Linnigan. And if he'd have executed the way he meant, it would have caused Seaman trouble, but as you see, just gets underneath it.
Dixon, Parlour, Ilya, Morrow. Hartson having his shirt tugged there, but undetected by the referee. The Spaniards get it away again, up to Snyder. Hit long again, and he's off once more. Snyder being chased by Dixon. The challenge was outside the box. The corner's given.
Excellent challenge there from Dixon, because if he cuts inside him here, he's got a lot of space. He gets the ball. I think he's arguing for a goal kick. Certainly a corner.
Naim will take it. Boyet, 6-footers there. Aguado's come up with this as well. Play it short with Pardeza. Naim again, a slightly different angle. Curled in once more. Oh, and a great save! Oh, a wonderful save by Seaman.
And he gets a pass there from Snyder. That is a terrific save. Watch how he twists back, gets it on the post, and then he has the bit of luck he's earned with this save, Brian, because it comes right back into his, almost his backside, then into his hands. Well done, that man. Great save.
Well, Aguado's header was perfectly placed. Instead of that, it's Poyet now, playing Belsway. Snyder. Free kick. Conceded by Tony Adams.
Snyder's proven a little bit of a handful, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't been involved in the game every minute of it, but whenever he's had possession, he's always looked to be inventive and to run at people. And,
Naim and Aragon behind this one. Belsway as well. Naim, I think, fancies a chance. They're claiming that Adams is not 10 yards back. Aragon might be the one, though.
He certainly hit the last one well from this distance. Terrific strike. I think this is a bit nearer, actually.
Aragon's free kick. Oh, poor one. And certainly as the minutes tick away in this period of extra time, this is the first period of extra time, 2 of 15 minutes. You wonder if this man here, with that wonderful save a moment or two ago, and just, well, boy, no, didn't have to touch that one, whether he's going to be a hero again tonight for Arsenal. Adams in. Pardeza. Don't attempt Providence, but if it does go to penalties, you would strongly favour Arsenal on the basis that they haven't got their first-team goalkeeper, Zaragoza, but also Seaman has become such an imposing figure. And they will know all about the penalty shootout against Sampdoria. Nobody actually would fancy in this situation taking penalties against him, would they?
Well, it will get. It's the old chestnut, isn't it? No one will fancy taking him anyway, but some have to, you know, 5 have to go out there and do it. But Arsenal had good practice against Sampdoria, didn't they? Maybe that'll stand them in good stead.
Caceres hitting it long towards Esnada. He won that well in the air above Tony Adams. Pardeza again. Schwarz getting back. Pardeza is writhing as though poleaxed. Get up, says the referee. You're not that badly hurt, but he's given a free kick to Zaragoza.
Yeah, the amazing thing is, Brian, if you're given a free kick, you really should look at what the offence was and maybe a booking, because it had to be off the ball. There you go, Linnigan. Yeah. On the blind side.
On the blind side, there was a bit of an left elbow there as well from Andy Linnigan. So another free kick. Will Arsenal be punished? Poyet behind it. Naim behind it. The Italian referee just getting the Arsenal ball, reluctant though they are to concede another yard. It's going to be Poyet, Uruguayan. Here's his free kick. It's straight at the wall, not a very good one. Plays it to Pardeza, who won the free kick. Whips a good cross in there. Steve Morrow with a header, buying a little bit of time there for Arsenal. Poyet with that header. Good anticipation again from David Seaman.
Just looking there in the midfield and watching Schwarz running around. I'm just thinking he's just been playing about a year now, because it's not the World Cup last year and he's still playing down nearly middle of May. I mean, long old season for these players, and of course we all know what the heat was like out in the States, and they must have been in training camp for probably a good month before it. So I mean, it's nearly a 12.5-month season, and I bet he'd be glad of a holiday this year, and with a Cup Winners' medal to put on the beach beside his towel. That's right. His dream.
The same applies for Caceres, man on the ball at the moment. He played in America for Argentina. Aragon hitting it again towards Esnada, who was much more interested in having a little running battle with Steve Morrow than going for the ball there. Merson going wholeheartedly for that one, but didn't fall for him. Poor ball played straight to Schwarz, and he's knocked it over the head now for Wright, who's got Hartson waiting in the middle. Penalty say the Arsenal fans, nothing doing, says the Italian referee. Wright battling on, in the end has to concede the ball, and Zaragoza bring it away again. Aragon. Sway, Poyet, Snyder stopped. Poyet coming on though. Naim's made a little darting run, but the deflection and the tackle in the first place by Schwarz allows Hillier to find Parler. Coming towards the end of the first period of extra time, Hartson turning, trying to get to it, but Caceres is there first. Up to Naim. Here comes Zaragoza again. Aragon. Esnaida's waiting in the middle there for him. Still Aragon. Pardeza. Bringing Belsway on the far side. The fullback. Pardeza again. And a foul by Pardeza on Adams in the end. A free kick to Arsenal.
I mean, a little bit of a bantamweight against a heavyweight there. They say a good big one will always beat a good big one will always beat a good little one, right? It certainly was the case there in terms of getting the free kick anyway.
back in 1980 that Arsenal were involved in a penalty shootout in a final of this competition. They lost that one to Valencia. Let's hope, if it comes to it tonight, that history is not repeated. Adams playing it in now for Merson. The only time Arsenal have played a Spanish side, incidentally, until tonight in Europe. No, that won't reach Parla. Naim niftily getting it away, gets it back again from Poyet. Pardeza, who's never stopped running all night. San Juan. Then Sway going up on the far side. This is Esnaida. Poyet. So we've got a minute to go. Still the latest score. Manchester United 1, Southampton 1. And now West Ham United 3, Liverpool 0. Mixed feelings there tonight in the Redknapp family. Meantime, it's Hartson flicking it wide now for Parla. Wright's on the far side. He's looking to find Ian Wright, but the flag is up for offside.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I know how he feels. He's pulled off great, but this ball just isn't the right pace anyway, regardless whether he's onside or not. Very close, by the way.
Was close, but he was offside. It's been down this dramatic road before, as we say, just a few weeks ago in Genoa against Sampdoria. And that's the end of the first period of extra time. Another 15 minutes to go. What's the game plan now, do you think, Kevin? There's the header there by Aguado. That really was a good header, and what a save. What a save that was. Off the post. Arsenal's a little bit of luck there, and the quick reactions as well. Grabbed it as the forwards came rushing in.
He earned that bit of luck. It was a terrific save. When you see it in slow motion, he literally got his fingertips to it in every sense of the word, just enough to push it on the post. And I think had it come back over him and not touched his backside really, which killed the ball, there certainly was a Real Zaragoza player going to get there first, so he earned that bit of luck.
So how do you see it now, Kevin? I mean, is it just now a test of stamina and nerve, and who's got that little bit of extra strength?
It's a very difficult one to predict because the game's, it's always been swinging to and fro in periods, hasn't it? I felt towards the end of that half, Zaragoza were again on the ascendancy. But they're just knocking it around a little bit better than Arsenal. But you've got to remember that, you know, the English season, I know we talk about it a lot. Arsenal will have played a lot more games than them to reach this stage of the season because of our league. And, you know, they just look a little bit sharper. But I'm sure Arsenal have another spell. And let's hope someone like Ian Wright can break the deadlock, because you'd love him to break the record, scoring every round. Well, he'd equal the record now because there's no one there.
Here's Wright. Well, he reached Merson with it, he does, and it falls nicely for Paul Merson. Oh, he couldn't quite get it through to Wright. Then Hartson couldn't quite get hold of it, but he's got hold of this, and he's gone past Belsway, and he's played a nice ball out for Parla. Dixon has gone flying down the other side, and is infuriated by... you can see what Dixon thought of Parla's shot. Just look at the run he's making on the left of the picture now. And
yeah, if he goes in the top corner, he's a hero, but I'm afraid he's going to have to take a bit of a rollick in here, and he's certainly getting one from Dixon. When you run 30 yards like that, you don't get the ball. It's a long way back.
Well, if you've just joined us and you expect to see all your friends at Coronation Street, they'll be coming up immediately after this game. Now, we've got 15 minutes of this. If it's not decided then, we get a penalty shootout. So I figure you should work on something like 25 minutes, maybe half an hour before you'll find Coronation Street. That's if we go to penalties.
They'll need to have stayed behind in the Rovers.
That's right. Let's have another quick pint in the Rovers. Right. That comes for Pardeza. Possibilities here. But it was Lenigan who got it away, up to Schwarz. and he's outnumbered, and it's Aragon who comes away, helped by San Juan, but Schwartz is by no means giving that up, and then he loses out to the referee's decision, and it'll be a free kick to Zaragoza. Just throw the ball back, Schwartz, because you might be in trouble if you don't. That's it.
Just frustration. He's battled away, but in the end he's lost out to a referee decision.
Aragon with the free kick. Floated towards David Seaman and straight into those trusty arms. Seaman hitting it long towards Hartson. He's up there again. He's winning his fair share of balls in the air now, but this is Cáceres with a long clearance. There's Snyder chasing. Linnigan will get there first. Up to Parla. No, Parla's given it straight to Poyet. Now there's a free kick to Zaragoza. Aragon. San Juan. Can Morrow get there first? He can. Came off the hand, yes, indeed. The referee and the linesman between them made the right decision there.
He's done very well since he come on, Morrow. You know,
Morrow, yes.
It's never easy, and he does very well. I think you'll find he just hits him against his. Actually, it may have been against his own arm as much as anything else, but they got the decision. It is his own arm,
indeed. Tony Adams stamping around there, trying to get some life into that dead leg of his. Hartson took that very well indeed, but he just can't. Yes, he's kept with the ball, and his determination, his sheer persistence there. They've won Arsenal a corner, and the Arsenal fans now responding to that. Madison coming across to take it, Linnigan and Adams going up. And this Cup Winners' Cup final still beautifully poised as we start this second period of extra time. Merson floating it in there. The keeper fisting that one away. Got a bit of height and distance on it, though. Suddenly here's Naim. Hillier trying to close him down. Aragon. Deza couldn't get a hold of it. Dixon for a moment couldn't get a hold of it. Then just a little toe poke out for Morrow. Merson. This is good work here by Belsuet. But in comes Hillier, and then Adams. Merson hitting it long. And they're calling the keeper out because they knew that Wright was hard on the number 4 there, Cáceres. Distraction there on Parla. Oh, he's given it the other way. Now, how on earth can that be? Oh, and Hartson was getting involved there again.
That's an incredible decision. He can't give it to Zaragoza.
Except that he has.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's getting tired. They've been out there over 90 minutes now. He's also into extra time, but that was a poor decision.
Adams with a header. And is feeling pretty groggy, Tony Adams, actually. He keeps pulling his toes up in order to relieve the cramp a little bit and stamping around. Try and bring a bit of life to those legs, and Arsenal are going to need that. Belsuet. We'll go through to David Seaman.
Linnigan's done very well for him at the back. You know, I mean, Holt and Adams have played together most of the season. He's come in there, he's slotted in, and really, you haven't noticed that they're sort of playing together for one of a few times in the season, and that's to his credit.
Dixon heading it forward. That's a lovely little ball played by Linnigan, just clearing the heads of the defender there. Parla couldn't take it up, but in goes Hillier. Once again, Arsenal playing with dogged spirit, which we've seen so often from them in these big European nights. Free kick to Zaragoza. Schwartz claims that he won the ball.
It's a tackle from behind, though, and it is supposed to be banned. There's been quite a few of them tonight, though. They're back in fashion.
Adams getting in there first. Just for a moment, I thought everybody was leaving it to somebody else there. Another free kick to Zaragoza, conceded by Ray Parlour. Naim standing over it. The tide of battle has swayed quite dramatically from one way to the other in this game so far, and you just fancy it's going towards Zaragoza a little bit now. Poyet didn't get to that one, and Seaman did.
I think two fairly evenly matched sides, contrasting styles, that's for sure, but neither playing with wide men. You know, it's had its moments, the games. It's never really got into top gear, but as you say, it's swung from end to end, and that's been what's made it so interesting for me, anyway.
And really, from here on in, it just lives on its sheer drama, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're all the players now. You can see a lot of tired players out there. And the game hasn't been played at a ferocious pace, but they play a lot of rugby on this now. I would think, you know, the grass is a little bit longer than what the players are used to at home, and maybe in Spain. And that's, you know, got a price to pay for playing on that sort of surface.
Poyet hitting it long, looking for his nada. Linigan nicely in command with the header down for Lee Dixon. Hartson turning well. He always does that so well. He just couldn't force his way through. But this should come for Linigan. Stefan Schwarz. There's a lot of space here on the left for Steve Morrow. Right. Trying to get Morrow in again, but Belsway had done his job well. Goal kick. Arsenal fans felt it should have been a corner. And another substitution coming on. Helly. No indication yet as to who it's going to be. The electronic scoreboard goes up. Well, it might be showing that way, but it's not showing. It's Naim who's coming off.
The substitute's coming off, isn't it?
No, it's not Naim, it's San Juan.
The substitute's been substituted.
San Juan coming off.
Maybe that's because, Brian, that could be penalty taken with that in mind, couldn't it?
Yeah, there's 6 minutes still to go. Fresh legs, which Arsenal, of course, haven't got, but their two substitutes already being forced on them early in the second half. It's a goal kick. Right, not very happy with the treatment he got there from Navarro. Bit of fun and games there. Right, unhappy with it, gets up and shows that he's not happy with it. A free kick, or rather a goal kick to Zaragoza.
If you take that little bit of aggression away from Ian Wright, then he would not be the same player. But he has managed to control it much, much better in the last 2 or 3 years. And I think he's played better because of that as well, although he's always scored goals. I think his general play has been better.
Naim now has moved to the right-hand side of midfield, with Helly away on the left. Minutes now of extra time remaining. The clock moving remorselessly towards those penalty shootout. There's Pardeza. Good challenge though, again by Adams. Dead leg he may have, but his timing was perfect again.
He's certainly restricted, Ryan. He's not moving freely, but you know, his determination is always, I think, always has been and always will be his main quality. All the rest of his game comes from that determination and will to win.
Naim playing it in. Okay.
I'd be interested to know what the referees back home think of Mr. Is it Ceccherino? Because there's two schools of thought back home on refereeing. And one is that, you know, the rules are there to be applied to the letter, and there's some referees doing that. And there's other referees who don't quite agree with it, who are refereeing, I think, like he has tonight. And, I suppose half of them are ill-pleased, and the other half, he may well think he's not really put the rules into play often enough. Because there has been some tackles that have gone unpunished. But he's let the game flow, and it's not his fault. It hasn't been a fantastic game, that's for sure. He's tried his best to let it flow.
Morrow hitting it forward now to Wright, ducking into that header, but Aguado gets it back. Up goes Morrow, wins it well again in the air for Arsenal. Naim with the back heel, and it comes through to Morrow again, thanks to the intervention of David Hillier. Down the line now, can Wright keep it in play? He can. Caceres has gone across there. The deflection, sadly for Arsenal, takes it straight to Aragon. And now to Helly, the substitute. Look at Parler getting back, though. As you were saying early in the game, he's got a terrific pair of lungs and legs on him.
Well, I can remember the night he made his debut at Liverpool, because I said he'd probably play for Ireland, and you said, why is he Irish? And I said, no, because there's a song if the Irish come in for Parler. And I can remember that, and he's, as he's got older, he has, you know, he's become much more, he's not a permanent fixture at Arsenal, but his all-round game has improved.
2-1 to Manchester United now. Adeza hoping to finish this off, tries to get the ball in again there. Schwartz and Adams between them getting it away. And now Wright put clear by Merson, but the keeper's out quickly, spotted that danger and very nearly hitting us with the ball with a clearance high up into the stand. West Ham have beat Liverpool 3-0.
There'll be plenty of bubbles being blown down in London. They've survived.
I guess that just about makes them safe, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Here's Hartson, scorer of the Arsenal goal. And we're now coming towards the last minute of extra time. Adams has gone forward. Just would like Adams to get back as well. But it's Arsenal's throw. It's with Paul Merson. And that'll be a goal kick. And I fancy we're going to get penalties, because now we're well inside the final minute of extra time. And will this man be a hero? Or will David Seaman at the other end again do a fantastic repeat of his night in Genoa?
Or will somebody be a villain? Because
somebody be a villain.
People tend to remember who misses penalties in games like this.
David Seaman, all he could do is lie in the back of his goal, and with the most extraordinary goal possibly that's ever been scored in a European game, certainly in a European final, Zaragoza looked as though they've stolen it. Have you ever seen a goal like that in a European final? And there's the man who was such a hero just a few weeks ago in Genoa, who's now caught off his line, and Naim's shot is over the top of him and into the back of the net.
Tremendous vision from Naim, and I don't think David Seaman's done all that much wrong, you know, but he's starting to struggle now, and suddenly you realise he's not going to get it, and he's actually pushed it onto the underside of the bar and in, and I mean, people see it as a mistake. I just think this is tremendous vision, and it's just gone in the one place that this man can't get it. Look, right, just gets a fingertip to it.
Agonising. Look at them open-mouthed people at the back there.
What a heartbreaking end.
Zaragoza have won it with that goal in the very last minute, and David Seaman is absolutely in despair in his 6-yard area. What a contrast to that great big smiling face that we saw in Genoa just a few weeks ago. And Arsenal just can't believe it. They were gearing themselves up for another supreme effort and felt no doubt they could confidently go past them and win it on penalties. And now with that amazing, unforgettable goal by Naim over the head of David Seaman from what, 60 yards? It must have been. Schwartz has gone back there. Pat Rice is out there as well to try and console the Arsenal goalkeeper. You say, Kevin, maybe he didn't do an awful lot wrong, but there was just that yard or so beyond what he would needed to have been, and Naim with terrific vision.
But how can you legislate for things like this, Brian? You know, I mean, he's not that far off his line, but suddenly the distress signals are out. And It's gone in the only place it can beat him. I mean, of course, there's a bit of luck attached to it. You've got to give credit to Naim, but, you know, I would be reluctant to blame David Seaman for that. I mean, he'll feel that it's his fault, I'm sure, but what vision. Tremendous vision. He's been beat by two.
I mean, never, ever has a European game been beaten by, I mean, you call it a freak goal if you like, an extraordinary goal, a wonderful piece of vision by Naim, but never, I can tell you, has a European final been beaten by with a goal like that. Absolutely astonishing, and the Spanish celebrations are well and truly underway. Well, there's Sneijder, who scored it. There's Martin Keown. We've got a shot of him. And so Arsenal are out of Europe next season as well, remember. They had to win here tonight to qualify for European competition next season. Kelly, who came on as a sub, and Aragon, who played such a big part in the midfield for Zaragoza, in a night that hasn't exactly been marked by skillful, exciting football, gritty football, yes, and we always knew it was going to end dramatically, but nobody ever could have visualized that it was going to end with that sort of drama there. Hartson, who scored the goal for Arsenal, but equalised the one by Sneijder. And then Naim.
That really hurts when something like that happens. You know, I know I always say it, but the winners can laugh. They're all over there in front of their fans, their players, and the losers do have to just make their own arrangements in these situations. And, you know, Arsenal, they've given it their all. They've had to put the two subs on early. They've come through all that, and then to lose to a goal like that, which everyone will have a different opinion whether it was a great goal or a mistake. But at the end of the day,
doesn't the world turn upside down with David Seaman? I mean, was a hero and everything else in Genoa, and he will feel. You're right. I mean, maybe there's a reason for it and so on, but he will feel. Just look at that face now. He knows that there's been a mistake made, a vital mistake made, and that he's made it. Don't forget, Coronation Street, ladies and gentlemen, comes up after this. We'll see the presentation of the cup, though. And here's Naim's shot. I mean, it's got to be, at that angle, it's got to be between 50 and 60 yards. Poor David Seaman backpedaling, maybe jumped a fraction early, actually.
Well, he didn't know where he was, Brian.
No,
you know,
right.
He had no idea where he was in terms of the post and the crossbar. And
but look at the astonishment on the faces behind the goal there as well.
Well, they've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a goal like that for a long, long time. I mean, Pele's in the World Cup that nearly beat the keeper was astonishing, but it was different. We've really seen something remarkable here tonight, and it's a shame that it's decided the game.
And to think that a man who had 5 years at Tottenham, Arsenal's arch rivals, is the man who's actually won it for Zaragoza. Naim. Right in tears. It wasn't to be in the end. He missed the final last year through suspension. He hoped so badly for himself and his family that he would get one here tonight to make it a score in every round. Pardeza coming across to shake hands, I noticed there, with Tony Adams. It hasn't always been played in that spirit tonight, to be fair, but Pardeza going right round the Arsenal players, shaking hands. That's Cafu, the Brazilian, who couldn't play tonight because, of course, there's a limit on the number of foreigners you can play. And we just wait for Leonard Johansson, the president of UEFA. As Tony Adams gets the loser's shield this time. And Arsenal, as so many before have done, failed to retain a cup they won last year. It's never been done. Steve Morrow, Paul Merson, and Andy Linnigan, who did a good job at the back for Arsenal. You can't really fault Arsenal for their grittiness, their mental stability, but then they're just beaten by that astonishing moment from Naim. Hartson, the Arsenal scorer, his first goal in Europe. Lee Dixon with his charity haircut. Merson and Keown. It's good to see Martin Keown there with his badly broken nose that disrupted Arsenal. The Arsenal substitutes, Duromia and Merson, and Vince Bartram, the goalkeeper. Well, now the moment as Pardeza takes the Cup Winners' Cup. A great moment for him and for his club. They won the Old Fairs Cup, but they've never won anything in Europe since then. They've never won the Spanish title, but they are firmly in Europe now for next season. Arsenal beaten by a freak goal right at the end of extra time. Let's just go and rejoin Bob Wilson.
Right, thank you, Brian. Forgive me if I find it very hard at this moment to find a smile, as it was my goalkeeper who, Terry, was involved in an amazing moment, really.
I've seen Naim try that many times, but it was a terrific effort, because it wasn't just a lob. He hit it. He really hit it with venom. And
his starting position is okay, isn't it, for a ball over the top?
I thought it wasn't too bad. I thought he really just got punished more than he possibly could have been done. As Kevin said, he lost his position, and he was trying like mad to get back. And the whip, the dip that came from it, it just beat. That's what beat him.
Yeah, it is so sad, because he made a fantastic save as well, didn't he?
Incredible save. I mean, that's possibly the save of the night. He had a bit of luck with it, but it was an exceptional save. You've got to feel for Arsenal. They've won it last year. This year that they're seconds away from penalties, where the pendulum would have swung in their favour, and you can say that they can count themselves very unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure at this moment whether we can get an interview from any. Not at this moment, Terry. So let's just look back at the fact that Arsenal once again refused to lie down.
Yes.
When they looked to be really under the cosh.
They were under the cosh at that stage, and they looked as if they were really going to get done. And Adams went up when we all thought perhaps he shouldn't have done, and he got them back in the game, put a few problems in them, and Hartson got them back in there.
Yeah. So in the end, I mean, we must hand it to Real Zaragoza. Great night for them.
I thought they played well. As the game went on, they started really pushing the ball around, making Arsenal run their legs out possibly in the end.
Okay, let me tell you that 2 weeks tonight, again on ITV, you can see the Champions League Cup final from Vienna. Ajax against the holders AC Milan. 7:25 we start on ITV. Tonight, though, in Paris, this was the agonising moment for David Seaman, when Real Zaragoza snatched the Cup Winners' Cup. Naim's speculative Pele-type lob, travelling all of 50 yards. David Seaman unable to keep it out. Arsenal's brave attempt is over. Real Zaragoza win the Cup Winners' Cup. The night when you realise goalkeepers walk a tightrope. Bye-bye.